Sorry, I was just admiring a fine piece of art. It's me, Mr. Tom. Yes, you're right. Lolo's not here again for obvious reasons. He had something to do which is important to him. Very few things are more important in this show, but life does take over. And here we are. We have got an action-packed show for you. So I'm doing it like I'm the president of USA. Like, I want you to watch the show. I don't care if you watch the show or not. But the fact of the matter is, we have got a great show lined up. Sorry, what's that? Sorry, Director John says we've got a great show lined up. In all seriousness, I obviously want to wish Lolo and Mark well in a potentially difficult time. So obviously they will be back next week. What's that? I'm hoping they're back next week, and we'll move from there. How you doing, Director John?
Screw that. We don't need them.
I'm just being polite.
No. 3 weeks in a row. Screw them. We don't need them. There you go. Oh, let me take a sip.
I appreciate that. What you got there, Sir John?
Budweiser.
I've knighted you, by the way, for the night.
Now, when you say action-packed, does that mean I have to get off my chair? Hopefully not.
No, why not? John, you should be able to do whatever you want when you want because you're Director John.
Okay, good. Have a good show. I'll be here.
Thank you, sir. Sorry, not Director John. Sorry, Scooby D2. Hello, welcome. I know you're not saying I'm committing a power imitation, but is what it is. How you doing in all seriousness? I don't really know what to say. I mean, that's a lie. I totally know what to say. Got lots of things to say, but I've got a partner in crime backstage. He's an elder gentleman, an elder statesman, a Leeds United expert, some would say. Not me, but some would say. It's Mr. David Villamartin.
Hi, guys. How you doing? How you doing, Tom?
I'm not doing too bad, sir. I understand you are coming live on location.
We are from the Windy City, and that's not me. That is the name of this city, obviously Chicago, on the Lake Michigan here, where it can get a little bit windy. But actually today, it's been quite a nice little day. But it's a bit nippy out there now, so I think I'm in the right place. And just to join you, I'll have a beer with you as well.
Sir. In all seriousness, while you were telling me, spoiler, in the backstage, we do converse backstage. It's not like we just turn up out of nowhere. Basically, was made aware that you were from the Windy City today, and I did a quick Google. Other search engines are available, but why would you use them? Obviously, Chicago is not actually the windiest city. Boston has been known to actually get higher temperatures, higher winds, higher temperatures wouldn't actually make my argument. But obviously, it's because of the lakes that are in Chicago and the temperature that comes off of that. Also, the architecture, obviously, tall buildings equals wind. And I don't mean to put you all asleep with this, but obviously, the politicians of Chicago in the 1920s and stuff were known as a long-winded gentleman, as to say.
Right. I'm in the right place then.
You certainly are. But so I will join you in a.
If I start rambling too much, just stop me. Okay. Cheers.
Safe word is Chicago, clearly. But how are you doing, sir? In all seriousness, on your travels.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry I didn't make last week, but my bed was calling me because I was up a couple of hours later. Things to talk about. I missed the show. I have to say I didn't catch up with it because I've had a very busy week, non-stop.
So I didn't watch it either.
I
don't re-watch my own shows either. I know I should get better at this kind of thing, but it is what it is. We're doing it for a bit of fun. And,
absolutely.
I watch it like a Beatles record. I play it backwards.
Probably the best way as well, John.
John, did you learn any recipes for lentil soup or anything like that from us speaking backwards?
Clearly not.
Anyway, clearly learn nothing from it. I expect him to chime in a second with you fuckers. Sorry, I couldn't do his. I can't do his accent like I normally do. And he's gonna come in and go. You normally do my accent. On occasion, I have. I've been known to. So what's going on in the wild world of football? The wonderful wild world of football.
Is that a question you're asking me, Tom, or is it a rhetorical question that you're going to answer yourself?
Oh no, actually, you're quite right. I've been known to do that, but in this case, I had nothing, so I was hoping you'd try something out.
Well, I think looking back quickly, we'll start at the Premier League because I know we're not going to spend too much time on it this week. But we had the Arsenal tripping up down on the south coast. 10 men after 30 minutes. They held out for another 40, but then eventually the mighty Bournemouth prevailed and sent the Gunners home with their tails between their legs, going out 2-0 victors. I think deservedly so, because I did watch that game. And of course, we had, I have to say it, Tottenham had a wonderful day after going a goal down against the Hammers. But they managed to, yeah, they did. They came back really well and very strongly. One has to say, there's big question marks now about Low Pedigree, the manager. Oh, sorry, Lopetegui, the manager of West Ham. Where else did we have? We had Leicester.
Well, Leicester tonight. Leicester shambolic tonight, by all accounts. I
missed the game. I missed the game because, of course, I was working. What happened?
They lost 3-1 to Nottingham Forest.
Wonderful.
From what you know of Nottingham Forest, if I told you a certain player scored 2 goals for them tonight, who enters your mind, sir?
Chris Wood.
Of course he did. Do you know there's only about 30, I don't know the exact number, but there's only about 30 players in the history of the Premier League that have scored more Premier League goals than Chris Wood.
Really?
In total.
The thing is, he might not be fashionable, but he does score goals if he's given the chances anywhere around that 6-yard box, especially.
I disagree with your statement purely on the basis of I don't think big lads ever go out of fashion in football.
Well,
there's always
he's an old-fashioned centre forward, shall we say?
When I say that, David, what I mean is like everyone will copy Pep's tactic, but there will never be a tactic that a team will say, you know what, I'm not going to put a 6'2" lad up front as part of it.
Yeah, but you look at City. Look at City now. They might play their tippy-tappy football a lot, but they've now got a big guy up front.
Yeah.
So that the ball can be thrown in, the ball can be knocked over. Obviously, Chris Wood hasn't got the speed like Haaland has, nor the finishing ability. But what he is, he's a good journeyman professional.
Yeah.
As I say, in like a traditional sense of a centre forward. He's solid. He's going to give halves a hard time. They're going to have to stay awake for the whole game. And if they go to sleep and he gets half a chance, chances are he will score a goal. And obviously this evening he scored 2. So, yeah, well done. Well done, Chris Wood.
I mean, if without Chris Wood, Leeds United would probably... You know what? We did fairly well on the season that he was at Leeds. I was going to say we might have got relegated. That's not true. That's actually not true. We just missed the playoffs with him. But we'd have been a lot worse off without him, without his 30 goals. Like, you will not find a football club on this planet that will say, no, we don't want a player to score 30 goals for us. Like,
Absolutely.
You wouldn't find it. Obviously, you could do a chain effect. The money we got for him, because obviously 16 million in the Championship for any player, it's good now. Yeah. But that kind of money in 2017 is like gold dust. Like that money, evidently, probably, I could be wrong, but I'm probably not, paid for a certain manager that then took us to greater heights briefly.
Yeah.
Because because I don't think Radrazani's dipping his hands in his pockets on a whim. Like, he had to have already had the money coming in, because I don't even know if we actually ended up spending that money outwards on the like 20 players we ended up getting for like however much it was. But are we still paying Lawrence de Kock? Like, are we paying him still? Sorry, his contract has finally run out. Sorry. Who's the one that used to play for Juventus that we bought? Who Wasim Boy, is that his name? Apologies, I've
Something
never ever
like
said
that.
it out loud. I believe we'll get to year 2026 and it'll be all right. His contract's finally run out. I know it's run out really, but it felt like his contract was going forever for someone that never played for you.
This was the problem with quite a lot of the signings back then.
Mhm.
I mean, the thing is, if they can get them back out on loan, which they obviously did with a lot of these players, then if the other club is taking half or more of the wages, it helps a little bit, but it's still
Yep.
a weight round the neck. I would think in the next year or two, we must be in a very good position, especially if we get promoted. But anyway, we're going back onto Leeds there. Let's carry on with our quick Premier roundup, shall we?
Well, you brought up Arsenal, and
Hmm.
actually, tell you what, I'll quickly go to West Ham because originally I was thinking part of the reason he left Wolverhampton Wanderers, Lopetegui. I could be wrong, but was it not? He was not happy that he was not going to be financially backed,
Yep.
and he basically felt like his Wolves team and going to get relegated off the back of it. I mean, ultimately, if you're not part of Big Six, eventually your team's probably going to be in danger at some point. So I don't think it's really a reflection on Gary O'Neill because obviously he did a great job with that team.
I think Gary O'Neill, he did a fantastic job last year, but then they've gone and sold a couple more players this year.
Yeah.
Haven't they? You know, is it Neto? It is Neto, isn't it? Who
sounds right.
got sold. You know, you're going to miss a player like that. But the thing is with Wolves, I think I think with Wolves they're good at going forward, but their defence, they've just not got a defence. They're just awful, absolutely shockingly awful. And I have to say, where before I was joking a little bit with Mark, if I'm a Wolves supporter, I'm thinking, get ready for life in the Championship. Because the thing is, there's no money going in there.
The thing with that team, I could be totally wrong. They need a win. Obviously, every team needs a win.
Yeah.
But I think they're the sort of team that if they get a win under the belt, then like Cardiff, just a quick pivot to the Championship. Cardiff looked dead and buried 5 weeks ago, and now they're potentially getting 9 points this week. I don't think they will, but the potential is for that. Because obviously Ipswich, who are predicted to actually win the next 30 games, spoiler, they probably will not win the next 30 games. They're looking in trouble in the respect of, I know they got more points than Wolves, but have you ever had 4 teams without a win at this stage in the Premier League season?
No, we're quite well into it, aren't we? I have to say, I watched the Southampton game last week against Leicester, and I mean, Martin must be so angry with his players.
He threw them under the bus, as he should have.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not for the first time that he's done that either. He is somebody who, if the players aren't performing, he'll basically throw them under the bus. But the fact that how they let Leicester back into that game, I don't know, because I thought they were well on for a good win there. But well done, Leicester. But yeah, so I think Leicester will be all right this year. I do think they're going to be all right because there's worse teams in the division. Crystal Palace, look at where they are. I mean, we're talking a side that you wouldn't want to play, home or away, because that's a hard game. You know, they've been mid-table the last few years. They
place to
always
go,
manage to
etc.
get mid-table with quite a few games left to go. But I think they're in dire trouble as well.
I think they're in the situation that I knew they would be in, and I don't mean I've got the prophecy of Nostradamus or anything, but I knew the second I read an article on the Athletic that basically went Crystal Palace turned down 18 million for them. I think their manager's name's Philip Glasner, could be wrong there.
Yeah, something like
but
that.
they were approached by Bayern Munich. Keep in mind, he had only been working at Palace for about 3 months at the time. Could be wrong, but barely been there. And they're offering him 80 million to buy him out of his contract. If I was Crystal Palace, I would have been carrying him to the airport, taking the 18 million and then bringing in someone else. And I know it's easy to sit here and go, oh, yeah, but look what they had. And like he was on the up. I was like, yeah, then they went and sold his best players and didn't replace them.
But they're not all gone, are they? Isse's still there.
Yeah,
Isse's still there.
With his injury record, still. I mean, I get the impression with Eze, it was more the tandem with Olise. And obviously, Gay, I believe that's how it's pronounced, has not left. But he's playing like he has and knows he will.
Yeah.
Like, he's mentally checked out. And I'll get a hypocrite myself here, because when I go, how much Crystal Palace you watched? None. But you only need to see their results to go, well, that defender's obviously not defending. There's obviously something not right there, or they won't be third bottom with no wins.
It's not a happy ship, that's for sure. Not a happy ship. I mean, you look at that, you've got Wolves down there at the bottom. And as I said, I just can't see them winning a game, because they don't seem to be making a huge amount of chances. I mean, they had a decent game against City, but they seem to be City's bogey side. Last year, they got some points off City, didn't they? In fact, I think, did they get
the thing I've noticed with
last year?
They're their bogey side based on beating them twice, is kind of thing. It's like, but really, the real truth of it, and I'm not saying you're doing anything insidious here, but the real truth is they're their bogey side because Man City beat them by not as much as they beat everyone else. It's basically a slightly more difficult afternoon for Crystal Palace. So I just want to say hello to Nick Fadley, who has come in, I mean, admittedly about 11 minutes ago, but hello, Nick, you've not been unnoticed. And Bono's here with, hey, up, cheers, lads and lasses. Jeanette and Bono, you getting married on Monday afternoon? Really?
Oh,
you getting married, Bono? Congratulations, sir. In all seriousness, congratulations. Have a Pepsi on me. But that's more metaphorical. Like, I can't actually throw a Pepsi through.
Many years of happiness.
But no, in all seriousness, yeah, of course. I mean, he looks like a happy fellow in all seriousness, but of course you would be.
Excellent. But yeah, I mean, looking at that, as you say, you've got the bottom four already. There's a gap then up to Everton, and I don't see Everton getting relegated again. I think they're too good a side. West Ham will eventually come good. So I think it's going to be out of that bottom four. I can't see anybody else dropping down into it, to be honest. Nor can I see those bottom four. You never know. Maybe Palace, if they change manager or something, will go on a run. But I can't
personally,
see any
David,
of the others.
In all seriousness, sorry to interrupt you. That was rude of me. I think West Ham are basically back at the natural order is being restored. They had their couple of years where they basically flirted with like European trophies and European competition stuff, and their natural order is that they flirt with relegation. They don't necessarily get relegated, but the fact is, I'm more used to seeing them in 15th than I am seeing them 5th.
Yeah,
in the Premier League.
Okay, but you know what? I'm gonna throw this out. Is it Tony who's a Hammers fan? It is, isn't it?
He is, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to hear what he had to say about them, because I'm not saying that he did, because I don't remember exactly, but a lot of West Ham fans wanted Moisey out. They got tired of his football. This was the guy that won them a European trophy, got them right up on the periphery of European
Yeah.
places and getting European places, etc. Sometimes you've got to be careful what you wish for.
Well, we
You
all
know?
saw this coming.
Yeah.
It's like David Moyes wins football matches by hook or crook over a course of time. Like, I know there was a period of time where it was a bit of a laughing stock, but if he has the players to play the football he thinks is winning football, it's a bit like Allardyce. Like, if you give Allardyce the players that play winning his brand of football, he will get enough points, generally speaking. I mean, West Brom and 4 games with Leeds don't count.
The reason Moyes has got the, if you like, the people take the mickey out of him,
It's because of his press conferences.
Well, it's that, but also I think it was his stint at Man U, taken over from Ferguson. It was a poison chalice. Nobody was going to succeed there.
No,
The team was past its best. Ferguson knew that. He got out at the right time. And whoever came in after, I mean, I still think he probably had a better record than quite a few of the managers that came after. But he wasn't given long enough to actually do anything there. But I mean, that's all good by me. I'm quite happy. And I think Ten Hag's doing a wonderful job there at the moment as well.
Ten Hag in, obviously.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I mean, we like to see it. Where are they? Oh, yeah, they're closer to the bottom than they are to the top. We'll leave it at that, shall we?
But in all seriousness, my thing, obviously, I live in a West Ham area, so obviously I've been more exposed to the views of West Ham fans than maybe yourself may have.
Absolutely.
And I've always felt they're very similar to Leeds fans in the delusion of grandeur that they have. To put it nicely. And obviously people can say I'm not really being nice about Leeds fans, but even we have that because we're like, we should be a Premier League club. And I believe we should be as well. But history will tell you that we've been in the second tier longer than we've been in the first tier.
Yeah.
So it's very easy for other football fans to sit there and go, well, why should you be?
I think I totally agree with you there. I mean,
I can explain why we should be, but I can also explain why it's fair of people that support a Sunderland to question it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I do. I mean, West Ham, it's almost like they live still in the 60s, don't they? West Ham won the World Cup. Yeah, okay. You know, yes, they've won a couple of cups since then and whatnot, and they've obviously the European trophy they won the other season. Far more successful than Leeds of late, but for the size of the ground that they have and everything, they underachieve. They underachieve. But hey ho, there you go. It is what it is. That's football. That's why we love it.
One thing I will say about them is I think their recent success is partly why we did so well in the Premier League, is because they are a club where things even slightly, if there's even a sniff that it's going to go wrong, their fans are on them. And it's the same with Leeds United. Basically, I don't think it's a coincidence that both clubs did well when fans were not allowed in the stadium.
Yeah, possibly.
Because the amount of games like we'd go 1-0 down and we might have overturned it or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, generally under BLC, if we didn't score first, we didn't win. But there were games where we didn't, and we did. But I still think there was a lot of games where basically because the fans weren't there to put pressure on the players, and the first misplaced pass, and you can feel it in the air in the stadium. Watching on TV, that's the feeling I get through observing it.
Right. And going to a few games as well, you do feel it. And if we haven't scored within the first 20, 30 minutes, you can start to feel the unrest. The ground goes quiet, and then you start feeling the unrest if, as you say, there's a misplaced pass or something like that. And yeah, I know the West Ham fans can be quite vociferous against their own as well as soon as things start going badly. But anyway, it is what it is. I think we spent enough time talking about them. think
I
Wolves,
I
the
do
one
have
thing we've
some-
got to talk about Wolves is last week, City getting that goal near the end of the game, because it led to
I was furious.
it led to Wolves victimhood syndrome, which has
I
been
wasn't-
rife.
I wasn't
It's been
furious
rife
because of
this
that.
week.
Yeah. Do you know Gary O'Neill made a very interesting claim in one of his press conferences? I just sort of social media. I'm not seeking out Wolves press conferences. It just randomly came up on my feed.
I think you are.
You might be right. Hello, Brownie. How you doing? Good to see you. Football with Brownie. Follow his stuff. He does good stuff. In all seriousness, he's a nice man as well. But quickly on to Wolves. He basically said that he had seen the stat. I don't know if it's true, but it's true enough for him to have said it. So his truth, let's just say. Basically, if you do a plus or minus on VAR decisions that go for you or against you, and he's like, "Oh, we're minus 20." To
Okay, but what I will say on
Scooby,
that,
I do want to get to that as well. Great comment, Scooby. Sorry,
I missed the comment. What did he say?
Oh no, it's about he's going to bring up because I had an issue with Leeds at 2-0 up, and you could hear a pin drop at Ellen Rowe. So I might as well doing that. But we'll get to it. You know what I think anyway.
We'll bookmark that.
Yeah, but in all seriousness, no, it doesn't exist, Brownie. They generally only do next manager when they genuinely feel like the manager's going to get the sack. But I can see them bringing in Mourinho because of the connection with the owners and things like that. You're right. But the bet doesn't exist, sir. Currently. He thinks that Mourinho is going to be Everton manager because
somebody else thought that as well. Yeah. But it's a couple of years down the line. That's Mourinho just playing games as well, I think. He's very good at that. It was a slur on the referee, wasn't it, really? That's what that comment was. Is that the only safe place he will be is if he's at a team that's not competitive and not playing in European competitions, which means he won't get sent off. Oh, yes, he will. If he's in the relegation fight, he will get sent off for sure.
It'd be fascinating watching him in a relegation battle. It'd be like football's turned on its head. But as the same with Wolves, Gary O'Neill said we're like minus 20 on VAR decisions. What I found really interesting about it is when you say you're minus 20, I'm not saying he's lying or whatever, but my actual initial thought was, but what do you mean by minus 20? I know what he thinks he means, but it's like, what do you actually mean? As in, because surely by minus 20, you mean that you shouldn't have had it against you, but you did. But surely the whole point of it is to just pick out the factually what is right and wrong.
Yeah.
Like to apply the rules factually. I know they've got it wrong sometimes, like with Arsenal and the lines or whatever, not to retread that. But generally speaking, they've not got it wrong 20 times. I
saw a thread on X. Can we say that? X? I don't know. Well, that used to be called something else.
I would have just said Twitter, personally.
Anyway, it showed videos of all these different incidents. Okay. And so we had the one where it was Wolves against Villa, and Sarr took out Watkins. Now, Watkins got to the ball first. There was a little bit of hesitation from the Wolves defender, who should have gone and cleared the ball out, and his keeper at the same time. But he didn't. He hesitated as the keeper was coming forward, and the keeper didn't get there in time. Now, they're giving that as an example of VAR going against them. No, VAR got that absolutely right. The goalkeeper took out Watkins. Watkins got to the ball first. And there was a very, very similar incident to the goal they conceded the other day against City, where obviously we had Silva, who was backing into the keeper. The keeper spent too much time, quite frankly, pushing him away from himself and not concentrating on the flight of the ball and setting himself. And by the time whoever Stones headed it.
Yeah.
Silver wasn't in his way. He
That's
didn't
what I was
obstruct his
thinking.
view.
It's
He
like
didn't obstruct the view.
if you hadn't pushed him away, it wouldn't have been a goal. Am I right or wrong in thinking that?
I think you're quite right. I think had he not pushed Silver away, Silver would have been in front of him.
Yeah, he would have been in line of sight. Yeah,
in a complete offside position because he would have been interfering with play. The whole defence, the whole Wolves defence moved up, and Silver was left in an offside position. Now, but you're only offside as such if certain other factors come into play, if you're interfering with play. And it's not good enough to say, well, if he wasn't there, what's he doing there? You're there to interfere with play. No, it doesn't work like that. Wolves had a very similar, I can't remember who they played. I don't know if it was Fulham or somebody. I know game against Fulham, they had 2 penalties against them. That was a bit iffy. But there was another game where they actually scored a goal very similar to City scored the other day. The difference with that was the Wolves player was in front of the goalkeeper. Hence, he was given offside and the goal was ruled out. So if these are all the different incidents that Gary O'Reilly, who I have to say I like very much and I do rate him, if are these all the incidents, well, I'm sorry, it doesn't stand up because when you look at them, VAR actually got most of those absolutely right, certainly in my opinion.
What I think he means, and he could, again, I don't mean to speak for Gary O'Reilly, but when he says we're minus 20, do you mean, what you really mean is you've had 20 decisions you didn't like?
Yeah, I think so.
Because, like, again, it's implying the interpretation, it's implying the rules generally.
Yeah.
And more often than not, it is right. I mean, there are times where I don't think it has been. And it leads into all these discussional nonsense. Hello, Daniel, come on, your Spurs. Good to see you. Sorry, go on, mate.
The other day, in that game, the City Wolves game, the referee didn't give offside, did he? Was it the linesman who gave the offside?
I think so. I only know of it after the fact.
Yeah, I think
I was seeing it on like it more focused. The clip I saw more focused on the actual in front of the keeper bit more than the actual discussion after.
Yeah.
The 5 minutes it took him to decide it. Yeah, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. I can imagine that's true, Scoops. Internet's an absolute cesspit around November, I suspect. But yeah, my thing with Wolves is that, and I'm not sitting here by any stretch of the imagination saying they have not been hard done by, because there are some that have happened where you sit there and go, how'd you come to that conclusion? Or you know what I mean? Like, some are wrong. But their point was basically, but the next worst was West Ham. They were -6 on decisions. I'm like, well, I know your point is that there's a big disparity, but you're never, ever actually going to prove that the Premier League has something against Wolverhampton Wanderers.
No, I mean, that's as ludicrous as Leeds fans who say that the Football League and the FA and all that are against it. I mean, I have to say it's bullshit. It's delusional bullshit, quite frankly.
Of course it is.
That's what I think anyway.
I come up with a lot of delusional bullshit, and I've never ever once had the thought that the Football League actually don't want Leeds United in it.
I think the Football League would like Leeds to stay in it because they're a cash cow. But I don't think they would go so far as to be bribing referees to make sure that Leeds did stay in it. I think
because I mean, it became quite obvious quite quickly. I think so. I mean, generally, I'm of the rule of thumb. Like on the lead show that we do on Sundays, I originally did the segment where we look at the commentary of the games. Like the main two culprits being Don Goodman and Andy Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing I've learned over the year or so that I've been doing it is that you can actually tell that Don Goodman's not as bad as it. Hinchcliffe is much more obnoxious.
Yeah.
Don Goodman is actually just a guy in my opinion, a guy trying his best and just not always quite reaching the mark.
Do you think he's trying to be unbiased, but he comes out as being a twat, basically?
Yeah, exactly right. My true thoughts on Don Goodman, I think I've said this before, I've alluded to it, is that I think but because he's a Leeds fan, he actually goes the other way because he doesn't want to be accused by the other 23 teams of being biased towards Leeds. So I think he thinks like if he basically sort of pushes the other team a bit, it goes under the radar, but then it turns into like, oh, you just don't like us because you got kicked out of the academy or whatever it is. And it's like, not quite sure that adds up, but
I don't know.
And Hinchcliffe is woeful. But the thing I've discovered through doing this, my initial point bringing this up, is that every team has a complaint about, you will find a fan on Twitter during any game that turns around and goes, Andy Hinchcliffe is useless. He hates my club. Last week, I saw a Bournemouth tweet where a fan of Bournemouth went, Don Goodman hates Bournemouth.
Because he's got reason to, hasn't he?
He is shit commentary. Like, I'm not disputing that. He's terrible. But he's basically, I'm trying to like get a tick off list. Like Norwich fan complaining about Don Goodman. Like, because basically, if everyone's complaining about you, you're probably doing something right to some degree in the football, in supporting sense. But there are times where I just sit there.
Is a shit commentary. Yeah, absolutely, Daniel. Absolutely.
But
anyway, shall we get quickly to the top of the table? I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it out there now. I reckon Liverpool are going to win it this year.
I mean, they've won seven. They've won 10 out of 11 games in all competitions. So,
I think Slot is taken them a level higher. I think you saw the drop off last year as soon as Klopp said that he didn't want to. He was going to leave at the end of the season. They just didn't seem the same side. I think Slot has gone in there. He's been very clever. He's not made too many changes, but he's got them playing good football. And what I have discovered, because you all know that how much I dislike Liverpool, I now realise actually it was more Klopp I disliked than Liverpool.
Why do you dislike Klopp?
I never was. I was never a fan of him. I never liked this, laughy, jovial guy who came in. I just thought, no, you're too much. You're too much. It's too good to be true. And then when he got Strike sent off for the unfortunate tackle on the young Liverpool guy, his name escapes me, and where he broke his ankle.
Harvey Elliott,
good player. That tackle, which was it was a nothing. It was just a very unfortunate incident. None of the players reacted.
Was the red card rescinded by any chance?
No, it wasn't.
It should have been. Because I'm not saying it was great.
The referee didn't even give a free kick. The game was just carrying on, and then he got called back because of the injury. And then Klopp, if you remember, he ran onto the pitch. And I have to say, I'm sorry, but nah, the guy's a prick.
My biggest issue with him is he's one of these guys when like most people in life, when they're winning, everything's great, and when they're not, they're a twat. But he took it to a new extreme. It was like he'd do all the things where like they'd play like an FA Cup game in Barnet or Shrewsbury, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is really basically like disrespecting the fact that he's in Shrewsbury or whatever it is." And I know that's a bit of fun. But then when he's losing a Premier League match and you see him like fucking baying like a horse, threatening to bite the assistant referee in the face, kind of thing. I'm just sitting there like, who is it? Like, why does everyone love this man?
Yeah,
one of the biggest lies. Dave, one of the biggest lies in football is when people talk about in the 10 years time, 20 years time, everyone will still be talking about this Pep versus Klopp rivalry. I'm like, well, he won the league 6 times out of 7. It's not a rivalry.
No.
It's
No.
not. It's just not. It's
No,
sorry.
absolutely.
It's not. Like Alex Ferguson won the Premier League title a lot more times than Arsene Wenger, but there was a time when basically they were neck and neck when going for it.
Yeah.
Like that was a rivalry until Jose Mourinho entered the arena. But at the same time, I think this is revisionist delusion. It's like when the Premier League decided that Wayne Rooney's what's his name? Wayne Rooney's overhead kick was the best goal in the history of the Premier League, right around the time of the TV rights renegotiation.
Came off his shin.
Yeah, and they're like, obviously you had to promote something that happened recently. Yeah. So one of the more recent good goals was the Wayne Rooney one. And it was like, that's the best goal ever. It's like, how can you even say that on a planet where Tony Yeboah bounced the ball off the crossbar for fun? And there's 100 goals like that. Fantastic.
Or the Bergkamp where he had his back to the Newcastle defender and he flicks the ball one side, runs around the other side, and then just passes it into the net past the keeper. You know?
I agree, Daniel.
And the thing is with that, he also did it at international level as well. You know, it just there's different levels. But Des
Bergkamp is a different level of footballer.
Yeah, or he certainly
he
was.
He just is.
He certainly was.
Right.
Anyway, that's what I'm putting out there. I reckon Liverpool are going to win it this year. Arsenal aren't going to win it. City are going to push Liverpool all the way. If Liverpool don't win it, City will win it. Arsenal won't get better than third.
That's my point, Scooby.
They're lucky.
They're making it sound like it was this really close thing, but he won it 6 times out of 7. And the only year Klopp did win it is because Man City basically didn't start until they didn't get going ever and still finished second.
Yeah.
But ultimately, my point is that people are basically going to make this rivalry sound much more close than it actually was.
I think that's indicative of the fact that Liverpool had been a powerhouse back in the 70s and 80s. And then they were many, many years by their standard in the wilderness. Of course, they weren't in the wilderness. They were still winning the odd competition here, cups and everything. Yeah. And they still won European cups and things like that. But
5 trophies in one calendar year. It's absurd, exactly. But they did.
Yeah, but I think that's what they were sort of hanging on to with the Klopp thing. And I think if Slot wins it this year, Klopp's forgotten completely.
I think it's truly impressive that Slot's basically taken like a duck to water with this team. And people go, yeah, but it's Klopp's team. We're like, well, what was it? Who else's team is it? Because Slot's bought no one. He's basically the greatest caretaker manager ever.
Well, what it shows is that he's come in because they haven't bought big, have they? They must have brought somebody in, but I can't think who they have.
I don't think they've made any signings over the summer. I could be wrong. I probably am. Someone will correct us. But it's not like
it's nobody of money.
Yeah. He's not come in and gone, right, like what I was originally going to say about Lopetegui and his failure at West Ham is basically he left Wolves because they weren't giving money to spend.
Yeah.
But he's gone to West Ham and they've basically gone, we're going to buy you him, and him. And he's still won 2 games out of 8. Which for a team that spent like 200 million in the summer, and someone's going to tell me it's not 200 million, the amount's not really the point. The point is they've spent an amount of money that he is happy to go there and do the work.
Yeah.
It's a small cross-section of what's going on. But anyway, back to Liverpool. Chiesa. They bought Chiesa's son. So his dad, what footballer his dad was.
Yeah. Yeah. But so anyway, that's what I reckon. I'm going to put it out now. There's only played 8 games of the season. But I actually I've enjoyed watching the game, which I never thought I would say, but it just goes to show when you haven't got some bully on the sideline. I can actually warm to a team that I don't support. There you go. A little bit further down, Villa doing well and Forest doing very well.
Before we go on, there's
Hmm.
somebody that wants to come in and argue a little bit about the lack of one team being mentioned today.
Let's see who this may be.
Oh, look who it is.
Oh, my
God.
Lord.
I thought the air was getting a little bit stinky around here, so that explains it. Hello, Gary.
We gave a very full commentary on Arsenal last week.
That was rude. That was rude, Mr. Little
I've
wee
been
man.
known to me. Yeah, that's true.
Wow.
That's true.
Hello, David. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm
In
very
the-
good, Gary. How are
In
you?
the Windy City. All right.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Hello, welcome
Scooby-Doo
to
too.
the new Stoop.
I know. It sounds like you got a new gig now.
Yeah.
I've got gigs popping up everywhere, sir.
There you go. How you doing?
So how you doing, Gary?
I'm doing good. How you doing, John?
I'm good. What do you call a stoop in the UK?
Steps.
Front steps?
Steps.
Yeah,
Stairway,
or
that's it.
the alcove. We had one of them at work, but got rid of it.
So your version would be on the steps?
It
That's-
doesn't sound right, does it?
Doesn't sound.
It doesn't even sound
nah.
cool. You can't even
Nah.
say that like I'm hanging out on the steps. It just
Nah.
doesn't like ring.
No.
Doesn't kind of roll off the tongue the way you want. Like I'm gonna
No,
go have a
not
couple
at
of
all.
beverages on the steps.
It sounds more like a Fred Astaire movie. I feel.
No, I'll tell you what it sounds like. It actually sounds like you're 13 and you're hanging out with your mates and you've never touched a woman in your life.
Okay, I'll bow to your better knowledge on that then, Tom.
Is that's what you called it, Tom?
That's what I did when I was 13. Yeah.
Which step did you get to, Tom? Did you get off the first step or the second?
I needed to stand on them to be as tall as her. But anyway,
Mr. Tom tripped on his way to the steps, hit the first one with his head, knocked himself out. Woke up the next day, and everybody's like, "What happened?" He's like, "You didn't even make it." He's like, "No, I didn't even make it to the first step."
everything Gary just said is accurate. Oh come on, Gary! You're making Deutsch John press the button to put himself in and actually not. How dare you, sir?
Mr. Tom was stuck in the basement. I think.
I've been stuck in a lot of places. God damn it! God damn
Oh
it!
man, hello there. Yes.
But yeah. What are you
So,
drinking,
Gary,
Yes, sir.
tell us then. Go on, give us a quick précis from an Arsenal's fans' viewpoint last week of how the mighty Bournemouth saw you off with your tails between your legs.
Well, you know what? It's funny because it's some of the things that the haters people will tell you came to light. Just because you have a little bit of a challenge doesn't mean you just I don't know, tuck your tail between your legs and squeak all the way home kind of thing. It kind of looked like that a little bit, a little adversity, and we kind of shut down the intensity that we wanted to have. The confidence was gone. We didn't look like we were going to score from the first 30 minutes. So it didn't even like the red card didn't change that at all. You expect it to like waken up the team a little bit and go, wait a second, maybe let's try something. It didn't look like we were going to try anything. So I think that's a little bit of Arteta's still learning this thing, learning about this coaching thing still. Because you expect, you need something, need a little light, a little fire under the team, right?
You've had the last couple of seasons where you've challenged, and I don't want to say you choked, but you choked sort of thing.
You know what? Here's the thing: for anybody to think that a third time finishing second is a given, right? Because that's it's not a given. You don't get chances to compete and finish second 2 times in a row, and then a third time it's going to be. It could happen again that you be that close. That you're asking a lot. Either you run away with it, or you fall on your face.
Yeah,
that's
Gary. I'm going to put you on the spot with a question.
That's what concerns me is that 3 times in a row finishing second would hurt, but I don't know if you're going to get that chance. Like Liverpool's not sitting around waiting for us to figure this thing out. Chelsea isn't waiting to figure this thing out. Aston Villa could surprise everybody. You know, it, it's uh, it,
Mm.
it's you know what? That's where like that desperation that you know what? That this is the if we're gonna do it this year, make it easy on ourselves. And I don't think we did that going into the season.
Right.
And the injuries and the suspensions and all of that haven't helped. But I think it's just like everything that could go wrong has gone wrong. All right. So I I I'm upset, but I'm not surprised.
Right, I'm going to say hello to John Garside.
Hey there, Brown.
Hello to Brownie again.
John.
But Gary, I'm going to put you on the spot with a simple question. Obviously, just based on how you're feeling right now, if Arsenal did finish third behind Liverpool and City, is it Arteta's time to go?
I think they definitely have to have a serious talk.
Okay.
Have to have a serious talk because the reasons why I didn't want him in the first place is this kind of reason. Because he still has, I think he still has some work to do on his, in his career. He'll get there, but should Arsenal have to wait for that to happen? Like I like to think that a more seasoned manager would have answers to some of the challenges that we had. Right? I mean,
do you know what I think will happen?
Yeah,
I think he's going to win the Premier League with Manchester City.
That's the part. That's the part. Everybody, so far everybody who's left Arsenal hasn't really succeeded, like everybody thought they might. Right? So I would be like I said, he was not ready for City. You know what I mean? Like look at everybody looked at Company when he got to Bayern Munich and thought, oh look how they're playing for a bit, right? Doesn't seem the same right now, right? They've seemed to hit a wall for some reason, and it's like, why? Like they shouldn't be losing to Barcelona like they did, right? It's not like they don't have some of the top players that are considered in the world playing on their squad, right?
Yeah, but their loss to Barcelona is easily explainable. Because
No. They shouldn't be losing.
World,
they shouldn't be losing to Barcelona like that.
Well, no, I agree. But Rafinha is the greatest footballer we've ever seen.
Well, you know what? Why it is? It's because Arsenal didn't want to get him like when he was crap at Barcelona, and so he kind of said, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to play some football, and that's what happens. And he's playing some football now. He seems comfortable out there. He's been the captain for like 3 of the last 4 games.
Yeah.
I think it's
The thing was they tried to get rid of him, didn't they? They actually said we're offloading you. They wanted the other fella to come in, and he basically said, "I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm going to prove you wrong." And he has proven them wrong.
The talent was always there, right?
Absolutely.
The talent was always there. We saw it at Leeds, and you're like, you're like, I don't. Was that enough money that you sold him for?
It didn't make the thing is with that, Gary, I think there was a little bit of an agreement going on behind the scenes. The fact that he stayed on that year and then kept us up because he would have gone the year before, I think. So he stayed another year, and he did. It was down to him and Phillips that we stayed up, and it was the only club he was going to go to. So therefore, it didn't matter that Chelsea came in and offered 15, 20 million more. He wasn't going to go there.
Dave, I remember on Sky Sports, it came up Arsenal have had a bid accepted for Rafinha. And obviously, BX Gunner and the Arsenal contingent sat on the Arsenal fan circle laughing away like we're going to get Rafinha. It's like, you're fucking not. Because
no chance.
We all know he's got one destination. It doesn't matter how many bids are accepted for him. Like, Manchester United could have bid for him. Anyone could have bid for him, but he wanted
Real Madrid could have bid for him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have gone there.
Hello, Lawrence Watkins. How you doing? Hello, John Garside as well. Yeah. But in all seriousness, the fact of the matter is we done well to get the amount of money we did get for him, considering there was only one buyer in the market. They weren't competing with anyone because the player had openly made it clear, I will either play for Barcelona or I might as well just stay where I am because I'm happy. He weren't unhappy at Leeds, but obviously he didn't grow up his whole life in Brazil wanting to play for Leeds United. He grew up wanting to play for Barcelona.
Probably never
That's
heard of
what-
Leeds.
No, of course he hadn't. I mean, unless he happened to watch AC Milan Champions League highlights from 2000, but still,
Exactly.
I mean, but in all seriousness,
Highly
I just-
unlikely.
yeah.
He was watching the We All Love Leeds channel. That's how.
Where is the We All Love Leeds channel, John?
Where is it? What do you mean? Where is it? It's right here.
Where is it? It's right here. It's right there. Amazing. Where can you find the We All Love Leeds channel? Oh, hang on. Let me just use this thing called tech fucking knowledge. There you go. That's the show from Sunday. This Sunday. What's going to happen? I don't know yet because the football matches haven't happened. But hopefully we'll win. It'd be a nice show.
Yeah, no, like I said, this challenge was going to happen, and the only way we have to get through it, and we have to figure out a way. Like there's nothing. There's no reason why we should have dropped any points this season. You know what I mean? Like we had chances to win all the games that we've dropped points in. Bournemouth, I don't know. That was a total collapse there. But any other game that we looked at, we had an opportunity to take all the points. We should have taken all the points, and that's what you do when you're making that third attempt, right?
Was it a red card?
Was it a red card? Well, it's one of this. If it's a red card, then it should always be a red card. That's what I'm going to say. If it's not a red card, then it shouldn't be a red card, elsewhere. So it's the same thing as consistency. So because everything that Arsenal's got a red card for this season, we've not really seen it again. You know what I mean?
The only thing I would say
it's just consistency. It's all I really. For me, it's consistency. If it's a red, it's a red. Because then you know. But the first time it happened, nobody knew. The third,
I thought it was a red straight away, Gary. I'll be honest. As soon as I saw it, I thought that's a red.
He went down really easy, right?
The carrots are back.
I wouldn't
I'm
say.
I'm not rambling, man. Come on, I'm not rambling.
I don't think he went down easy. He got pulled down. He got pulled down because Saliba knew he couldn't let him go. Yeah. And the reason why I thought it was a red straight away is because the ball was on that side. White wasn't going to make up the yardage, and the goalkeeper was scurrying back at the same time. Yeah. So I think they would have had a goal scoring opportunity.
I hear what you're saying, but then when they go into the Chelsea game, they go, well, you know what? Caldwell was going to run him down, and it's like he's behind him, and the ball's a little far off.
Yeah, but the angles were slightly different.
So, but for me, it shouldn't be that challenging to figure out whether it's a red card or not. It should be made a lot easier because it's a bang bang situation at that point. I hate going back to review things and then correcting it and making it perfect. That's the part I don't get. Like both plays should be cut, and it should be last man brought down, red card. You know what I mean? Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
The only way it's not is if that other defender is in front of the play, and in both situations nobody could say that, right? Nobody could say the defender is either going to make up the distance or cut off the angle. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So for me, both of them should have been red, or both of them should have been yellow. Pick one. I don't care. At least we know how to play.
Just say something. You're talking about different games. It didn't have a bearing on the other incident. Didn't have a bearing on the Arsenal game. Taking that in isolation, I think it stopped a goal score or possible goal scoring opportunity, and you've only got yourself to blame.
No, but think about it. Jota got knocked out of the game because of that tackle. So so for me, in that sense, it's almost like a dangerous play, in the sense that he was knocked out because of that tackle, right? So it was a little dangerous. It was the last man. I mean, he knew what he was doing. I believe these footballers know what they're doing.
Jota he fell on his chest, didn't he? I mean,
that's because of the tackle coming up from behind. All right. So whether Jota had anything to do with it, I think when you get close to an attacker, you risk that happening, right? As soon as you touch a player in the box, if they go down, then you know what? That's your fault for getting that close. You know, you should know better. You know that's going to happen. This is the way the game's played now. So yeah, like I said, I just want consistency, just so that we don't have to go. You know what? You know you're going to see it tomorrow, because it always happens, right? You know, as soon as Rice got the red,
amazing.
41 times later it's happened, and guess what happened? Nothing, right? And you're like, what's going on? So
can I say this is the one thing I'm loving about being in the Championship?
Yeah, you don't have this crap, right?
No, absolutely.
Is Stan on mute? Yeah,
you just get on with it. You just
I'm
get
shutting
on with it.
Stan up. You know what? I don't, because once he starts, we're in trouble. You know what? That ball.
You can see that smile. You can see that smile. He's there waiting to draw those guns.
When that snowball starts rolling from the top of the hill and it gets bigger and bigger, and you see the cartoon character try to stop it, and he just gets rolled into it. That's what's going to happen.
Come on, Stan.
Hello, Stan.
Hello, Stan. Welcome to the internet.
You're muted, mate. You're muted.
He's
we still can't hear you, buddy. You're going to have to
actually, yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that, yeah.
Can he hear
the
us?
Best thing I've ever heard from you, Stan. Can't hear you.
Your mic's not working, buddy. Oh, man.
Silence is golden.
Is he doing it on purpose?
I've known this motherfucker for 3 years, and this is the longest I've ever known him to shut his fucking mouth and not be able to talk. So this is a genuine.
That's on. I think I heard something.
How you doing, sir?
Hello.
Very well. Good evening, everyone. Dave, Gary, Mr. Tom. I was minding my own business on this Friday afternoon here in Vancouver, and all of a sudden, my spidey sense started tingling. And I could sense that Gary was in trouble and needed my help.
I think I've been handling myself pretty well with these guys up top there.
I know, that's why I've been quiet. I got here and you seem to be handling it. So
no,
you did a good job, Gary.
No, you know what? We're not. I don't think we're like those Arsenal fans that Mr. Tom will like to talk about.
Just because he said a lot of words doesn't mean he said anything.
Oh, John, get off of this thing. Go back to the back room.
Can we pose the same question to Stan? Stan,
what was the question? I missed the question.
What keeps Arteta in the Arsenal job at the end of the season?
Let me ask a more blunt form of that question. If Arsenal, if you don't mind bringing up the Premier League table, please, John. If Arsenal finish third, basically behind Liverpool and Man City in whatever order, does Arteta keep his job in the summer?
Well, my opinion could change after Sunday's game because I think it's quite pivotal. But I was saying on Fan Circle just last night that I know it's only been 8 games, but I feel that we're going to finish fourth or third at the way things stand, because I just don't think that we have enough to cope with all of the competitions. But if we were to end the season in third, for example, and we haven't won anything, for me that's not an automatic. You've got to go. It depends on the manner of the losses. It's not, for me, it's not just as black and white. It depends on what I'm seeing on the pitch. If they're not giving a fuck or the tactics are all wrong, and then that's a different thing. But if we're fighting really hard, but we're just running out of steam because we don't have enough, then I can accept that. You know, I know that my team's not going to win every single game out of 38. There are going to be some losses along the way. Yeah. But I don't think that we're going to be challenging this year at this moment in time, like we were for the last 2 seasons. I'm kind of resigned to that. But if we go to
Arsenal going backwards a bit,
I don't think we're big enough, as in size, to handle. You know, we have a lot of players in our defence that are good in 3 positions, and that's kind of like considered being a bit clever. But when you have 2 of them injured, then it's almost like losing 4 players because we don't have enough to cover, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. I'm not an automatic. He has to be fired, though. I mean, personally, I'd rather win the Champions League than the Premier League. It just allows us to sit at that table and have that conversation with other fans who shut us down because we've never won it. So that, for me, I'd like to cross that off the list.
Yeah, that definitely will quiet the noise for as long as we want it to quiet.
Do you think that's likely though?
Seeing how we're tied for third on points, but we're sitting ninth in the table. I think it's going to be a big like that, which means
I
you
think
can't
the team
score.
that beats Real Madrid wins it personally.
Yeah.
Because I personally think if you don't physically knock Real Madrid out of the tournament, then generally you'll end up playing them in the final where they suddenly turn into a super unit. So I could be wrong there.
They're a scary team, right? They didn't look so good in the first half of their last game.
They're terrifying.
And then ran. And the problem is, we know they got all of that in them. They got 3 to 5 goals in them. If they haven't scored in the first half, you know it's coming. You know, we've seen it. We saw it with City, right? We saw it with Liverpool in back-to-back games, or back in that run that they had, right? Liverpool and City got the raft of Real Madrid, and they're better now, right? Yeah. They're better now. So before that was them kind of like figuring things out. Now they're like they're you can only go out there and get an Mbappe once in a blue moon, right? And they've got him, and he's still trying to figure things out, right? I mean, and
I'd love to have a player like Mbappe and us all sit there and go, oh yeah, he's not really hit the ground running yet.
No, they're not overly impressed with him, are they? They're like,
he could be doing a lot better. He could offer us
if they were to start clicking, right? It'd be just like it'd be child's play for them, right? It should be child's play for them, and like the fact that they're still trying to figure this thing out, and you're like, damn, I still can't get anything by them. I can't get, I can't get by them. How am I supposed to do it when they start clicking, when they start figuring this thing out? And they don't really have to do that, right? They only have to do it 4 times, and that would be in 4 finals and maybe to seal the league, right? Basically, that's all they have to do, because right now they're sitting where they want to be, and that's the scary part for them, for City, right? City's just waiting around, right? Is anybody going to falter around them? Yeah. And because like they don't have KDB. They're not gonna have Rodri, and and Foden isn't doing what we thought he would be doing at some point. So they're still getting by, and that's the thing that sucks for those teams looking, trying to compete. They are not. We know they got it in the second half. They don't have to do it now. And if you give them
big game this weekend, then really.
Yeah,
both sides.
Yeah, Liverpool pulls ahead and keeps that 1-point lead at least on City. If John's, Leeds sitting third, right?
John's trying to move us on.
Yeah,
because we already did pretty much an hour of Arsenal Premier League.
No, you know what? I don't know what you're talking about. I've only been here for about 20 minutes. So as far as I'm concerned,
you gentlemen are late to the party. You're
early
for the championship.
We've already spoken about Arsenal.
The party just started.
We started off with Arsenal.
Why are you starting with Arsenal? You don't even like Arsenal.
West Ham.
We started off with Arsenal because there wasn't a lot to talk about, and we wanted to get it out of the way.
That's silly of you. Why would you do that? You could have had a whole show.
Because we had to talk about the Spurs 4-1 win.
Oh no, we don't have to talk about that. Nobody cares. Who cares? Why do you care about that?
My favourite bit of that.
It's just our little way of spreading chili pepper on somebody's food who doesn't like chili pepper.
You know what I mean? Kodos leaving Tottenham players in his wake. And I mean, not in a good way, like, because he scored loads of goals. I mean, he scored 1.
Yeah, just slapping him.
But he literally just gave him a bit of a shirking sort of thing, and they gave him a bit of a slap. And I remember, like, he got sent off for it, because of course he did. But there was like 3 Tottenham players on the floor. And I'm thinking, what the hell happened here in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? I mean, when are they actually going to give their stadium a name? Like, just, it's pathetic. Like, just call it something. But
well, it is what it is.
No.
Anyway,
I don't care that much, but
I'm just going. The last thing I'm going to say about Arsenal, on a very popular radio show this week, lots of Arsenal fans who are very disgruntled with Arteta and almost like ready to throw him to the wolves.
Don't take a lot for Arsenal fans.
But it's
to do
always
that,
been
though.
like that, David. They've always been there, to be honest. They've always been there.
Yeah. But now
Yeah.
it
They've
just
always
sounds a
been
little
there.
bit more amplified. You know what I mean?
So everyone, the
David.
directors appeared.
It's one of those things I've said multiple times. The team might get better, but we might fall in the standings. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
I mean, that's what happens when other teams that think about it. Liverpool had 3 world-class players in their team, so it was only a matter of time if they could get it to work that it's going to click and it's going to work like it has so far. Right?
Carrots, please.
What? No. What? No. I'm not rambling. John, don't listen to him. Keep your hands away from keep your hands away from the carrots.
David was saying, I'm only going to say one more thing about Arsenal, but then I was going to say, shit, but that means Gary's going to talk 10 more
Gary
things
gets to
about
say
Arsenal.
10 things. Is that how it works?
Then
1 to 10?
everyone gets their fucking turn, and then 2
one
hours
Arsenal
later,
talk, 10
we're
Arsenal
saying,
talk.
should we go for our piss break?
That's how I get John on this show, you see. It's my little trick. I just say something knowing that Gary's going to respond. And that's going to bring John on to the show.
I have to.
David, let me ask that, David. Right? Imagine you're supporting a club. The last 2 seasons you finished second. You're giving Man City a run for their money. You've got the owners making sure that the manager is getting the players that he wants. You're bringing in players, like Declan Rice, and yet half of the fan base wants the manager gone. I'm like, what? I mean, this is a club now that's really built in the image of Mikel Arteta. You can see that the players are buying into it. The players buy into what it is that he wants to do, which is, for me, half the battle, right? The players are buying into it and everybody's happy and they see themselves as brothers, pulling in the trenches next to each other. That's the sort of attitude that we've got at Arsenal with the players and the management. But half the fan base are just like, Arteta out. And I don't know what it's going to take to ever please those people. Even if we won the league, we probably wouldn't win it in the right way.
Yeah.
I
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, Stan. What I would say is, as an outsider, watching the Arsenal games that I've seen so far this season, compared to how they were playing last year, I would have to disagree with you about your analogy of them standing side to side fighting in the trenches, because they aren't fighting in the trenches. They were pretty piss poor by their standards against Bournemouth. They really were.
We have looked a bit disappointed.
I've seen that this year. I'm like, no, this lot aren't going to challenge this year. And when I say challenge, I mean for the title. I don't mean for second or third.
Yeah, when the season started, I figured. I was going to say, when the season started, I figured since Erdogan hadn't Martin, because I don't say his last name the way Stan likes, but when Martin, I figured since he had the whole summer off, Martin, the Norwegian guy. I can't say. I'm not allowed to say his last name in front of Stan, but I figured he would show up and be like, the catalyst, like for the attack. He's doing a lot of things, but for the attack, I thought he would
still do it though. Really,
Erdogan?
Yeah.
All right, so I said it, but I thought he would be one of the standouts on the attack for us, and that hasn't happened the way I want. Yes, he's injured now. Oh boy, got the pen out. Damn it! I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't think that was going to happen.
Well, you know what they say, the pen's mightier then.
What is it, mightier than, sir?
Mightier than the carrot.
No,
unleash the carrot.
Yeah. No, Brownie, I'm talking about before he got injured, sir. But I just thought he would show up, because everybody was saying, guess what? Saka and Rice and all of them had this long Euros. They're gonna come in a little bit, not needing a little bit of rest and all of this. And I'm like, all right, so the players that didn't should come in and basically be able to at least help drag us across the line, because they're fresh, they're ready to go. They've been itching to play some football, I think, right? They should be, anyways. And I don't think I got enough of that, because we struggled in those games, those first 3 or 4 games where we needed. I think we had a lot of goals and they didn't happen. So, but yeah, I can ramble on as you know, but now that he's injured, it's kind of hurt. It's kind of hurt now.
And it's also as well, everybody's chomping at the bit, because we've got this young lad who's come up through the academy. Ethan. I can't say his surname in front of Gary because I can't say it properly, so I call him
And
Ethan.
Weary.
Again, what's the
Say,
what's the name,
get rid of the
Sam?
end and just say Winery,
that
and
guy.
you'll be all right. Come on.
Ethan.
Scooby,
And
I
everybody
remember
wants to see
one
this
time
play,
I
but
was
he's
told, I
not.
remember one. Oh, sorry, Stan, go on.
Go on. No, go on.
No, I was going to say,
Please.
Scooby's digging us out because we're not talking about Leeds. But I remember one time I did want to talk about Leeds, and then he said again, "Oh, I'm tired of talking about Leeds. Let's talk about Celtic or some other fucking bollocks." So Scooby's the sort of person that if you want to talk about 1, 2, and 3, he'll be like, "Why aren't you talking about 4,
Who
5,
does
and 6?"
Scooby want to talk about tonight?
Yeah, it's a Scooby show. Go on, tell us
Okay,
what we're talking
who
about.
does Scooby want to talk about? And we'll talk about them.
But finish your sentence.
Bang it up, Scooby. Let us know. In the meantime, Stan, carry on with what you're going to say, if you can remember.
I was just saying that we've got this young kid that, and he doesn't seem to be getting a lot of minutes. And yeah, we have looked a lot more disjointed this season compared to the last two. And I think that he's put himself in a dilemma because he's trying to stuff in the midfield. And we've got a new guy that we've bought for over 30 million who's won a European championship. And he's got a kids who's come up through the academy. And he's sitting there thinking, oh, which one should I play? And he's picking the name and the one that's cost him the money instead of the kid. But the thing is, they're both different players. They've both got different traits and different attributes. And what our midfield needs right now is the attributes that this kid has. But it seems to be that he's going for the guy that cost him 30 million because it costs 30 million, right? And he's a bigger name. And I suppose this kid's been waiting. He can wait a little bit longer. And I don't like that. Now, do what's best for the team. Don't go by trying to, feelings and how people might feel. And, talk to them. Let them know the situation. Until Martin Odegaard's back, we're going to have to move things around a little bit.
I mean,
how long is he out for?
Sounds like November, but
I
it could
thought it was
also be
December.
January, man. So anytime between November and January, he'll be back.
Okay.
And even
So
when he's
I
fit,
use
he's
it,
going to have to get up to speed, right? And just walking back into the team, he's got to get up to speed.
I feel like the
get into
headmaster
the
just
groove.
made me stand up in class to chew me out. It's like just saying, Scooby, just tell us what you want us to talk about.
Celtics. So let's talk about the
off.
Celtics.
We're not talking about
No, we
Tim
can talk about the
Pot League.
Celtics. We're talking about the Celtics with an
fuck
S.
them. Okay, yeah, they drew.
Celtics
They
with
drew
an
the
S.
other night. Well done. Now fuck off.
No. What about the Celtics that
Fucking
just played the
Celtics.
Wizards yesterday? Well, let's talk about them.
I'm actually really impressed with the
I know nothing. I know nothing about them, Gary. But let's talk about them. Yeah, I'm with
Let's
you
talk
on
about
that.
they just came off. They just won a world championship in NBA. Come on. Right?
They won the World Championship in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. They did.
Oh, sorry. So
yes, they did. You know what? The world of America and Canada. Yes, they won
to
it.
play the Toronto Raptors to defend.
Exactly, and
the world
that's how you make it the world.
That works.
Perfect.
Who have they beat outside of North America?
It doesn't matter. We don't care.
I mean, they would beat anyone outside of North America.
You know what?
That's not the point.
Mr. Tom, we don't care. I keep saying we don't care. We are the world champions. We have the world championship.
What
NBA.
do you mean we are the world champions?
Yes.
You support the Miami Heat. What
I
are you
do.
talking about,
I do.
sir?
I don't care about. I don't care
acting like you're part of the team.
You've been found out there, Gary.
I did that. You know, that's a slip of the tongue. I did not mean it to come off like that.
Do you want me to tell all your Miami Heat friends what you've been saying?
Oh no! Don't do that, Mr. Tom. Please.
All two of them.
I don't know much
turn
about
around and put those points up on the board.
Oh no!
I don't know much about basketball, but I do remember when I was a kid, the Harlem Globetrotters used to win everything. They were the best.
Yeah,
I love them.
The Washington Generals gave you hope, and then they
my,
would lose.
My luck was so poor that I probably would have bet on the Harlem Globetrotters the one time that they lost to the Washington Generals.
Did they lose a game?
I remember it specifically. It made the news. I remember reading in the newspaper, so probably how long ago it was, that the Washington Generals actually beat the Harlem Globetrotters on one occasion. Yeah. And it happened the day before on this particular
that would have been the final of your accumulator, wouldn't it?
100%. 100%. I don't even think you can bet on it.
I'm a multi-millionaire. I'm multi-millionaire.
Yeah. Daniel come on your Spurs and knows fuck all about basketball. All he knows is Michael Jordan was the best ever player. I mean, sorry, like
I know
not
about
to
him.
turn this into on the stoop with basketball, but
I know about him.
Michael Jordan is Al fucking Pacino compared to LeBron James as an actor. I'll tell you that for free. It was LeBron James' performance in Space Jam 2 was, and I probably shouldn't say this word for anything, it was a fucking abortion. It was disgusting. It was disgraceful. I don't even know how he got out of bed, and I'm pretty sure they put a lot of money in front. They drove a dump truck full of money to his house and parked it outside and said, please come and do Space Jam 2. So it's kind of understandable. But it would have been a lot better for my eyesight and my ears if he'd have politely said, no, go and pay Michael Jordan to do more what he did 20 years ago. But anyway, sorry, I was going to say about basketball, Stan.
I ain't never seen Space Jam.
Space Jam 1's all right. Space Jam 2.
First one, I feel like I know it's a big thing in that, but I never seen it. I Believe I Can Fly, right? It's that one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, but we don't talk about him anymore.
What happened to the bloke that sang that song? Can't remember.
No, let's not go there. Let's move on.
We don't talk about him anymore.
Can we move on, please? Oh no! Come on.
Something
Come
happened.
on.
I can't remember what it is.
No,
Sorry.
we don't need to. No, nothing. No.
At the American Music Awards, they obviously put that singer over there, which meant they had to put the Olsen twins all the way fucking way over there.
Oh, this is where you know what, John, pull the carrots out. Do something. Let's distract him before he gets going, because you know what's going to happen.
Oh,
Don't pull the carrots out. Let the carrot crate fall on his head.
Don't pull the carrots out. That's probably what enticed him in the first place.
Oh no! Oh, this is what happens, man.
Right, I think it's time we moved on to Championship football now, guys.
Let's do it. Oh my!
Yeah,
God.
what's happening in the Championship then? What's the deal?
So much is happening in the Championship. Watford, basically.
Who's the team to beat in the Championship? Who's the team that is like,
currently,
they're the ones?
Before we go on to it, why don't we take a little bio break?
I think that'd be a good idea because I've run out of beer. I need to go get some more out the icer.
All right.
Okay.
Say, for example, John, could you say a bio break that lasted, say, 2 minutes and 19 seconds?
I could do that.
Why not?
Excellent.
I think we should do exactly that. This is a song from Lolo, written by Lolo, directed by Lolo, and produced by probably Lolo.
Is Lolo the guy that used to do this show once upon a time?
He used to present this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't this show supposed to be
okay.
called
That
On the
guy.
Stoop with Lolo?
Yeah.
I'm thinking
I remember
Lolo
that
is
guy.
just like some mystical, like
Yeah.
imaginary, like ghost.
I heard of him once that he existed, but made him disappear like that. So
There you go.
Let's listen.
for anyone who
Are you
saw
ready?
Infinity War, it was the Thanos snap, but I just made half of the cast of the show disappear.
I do have a Thanos glove.
John?
Can I play the video now?
Yeah, we're waiting,
Yes,
John.
please. I was hoping you just did it. But I was talking because you didn't do it.
Shut
We
up.
gave you the pause, and you just went like,
Gary, you did not give me a
Right.
pause. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Yo, it's been difficult. I gotta be honest. Not used to seeing Spurs fans happy. It's disheartening. At least I know. Tottenham sucks. Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks. Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. I'm a gunner for life, so I can't let it rest. When I hear some silly fans screaming that the Spurs are best, so I just gotta put them back in their place and tell them to go and check out their trophy case. It's empty, filled with nothing but dust. Okay, maybe one trophy all covered in rust. But hey, it's a new day. You got yourself Jose. He iced out Dele like he was Protege. Ha! But that's cool. You got your boy back, Kurt Bale. Yep, he's alright. Weird that he couldn't get a sniff in Madrid, but played a lot of golf though. And I hear it all the time that the Gunners pass at prime and thinking that we're quality is an absolute crime. So before the comments start, let me do my part and tell y'all about my team straight from my heart. Yeah, Alba ain't been great. Pepe can't run straight. Willian is old and Xhaka is cut rate. Yet Ozil lost a job and Ceballos is a knob. And David Luiz looks like Sideshow Bob. That's cool, you know why? Cause I take freaking Gunnersaurus over any of them dirty Spurs. Or maybe Son, that boy good. But I still wouldn't ever trade my team for yours, even if you begged me down on all fours. Saying Lolo, come on, Lolo, come over. Motherfuckers, I'd rather support the Blackburn Rovers. And I'll always have a cannon on my crest, unlike y'all with the cock on your chest. And you may have a good season, straight out of luck, but one thing's never changing in my mind, that Spurs suck.
What do we think of Tottenham? Shit! What do we think of shit? Thank you!
Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care if the top of the league, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks, Tottenham sucks. Don't care what you think, the Spurs suck. Tottenham sucks.
Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to the second half of the show. It's not true, not true. It's the final quarter of the show because
I keep
yeah, it's
asking
what it is.
I keep asking him to edit that ending because it's so abrupt. But
But saying that Spurs suck is pretty abrupt, isn't it? So
yeah, true.
I mean, you don't say it and then go, but we hope that your feelings are all okay after the song, do you? Like, you just go.
He's very
"Fuck."
good at things,
You
isn't
move
it? The
on.
production and everything. They're very
It
good.
is.
I have to say, they are very good.
It is. It's very good, but but obviously they're not
The
around
production
anymore, so they disappeared. Got rid of them.
So you're going to tell us about the championship?
I'd love to tell you about the championship, Stan. I woke up this morning and thought, what can I do in my life? I'm going to tell Stan about the championship. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
I woke up this morning and thought, you know what? I really hope Mr. Tom tells me about the championship at some point today.
Pure
So
championship.
we are aligned. We are aligned.
Pure
So I was asking
championship.
that who are the big boys in the championship? Who's ripping it up? Who's everyone fearing in the championship?
We'll get
If
to that in a little bit. We'll get to that in a couple of minutes, but we got something else to do, Tom, don't we?
Well, I believe we do actually. But Stan, I appreciate the question. We will answer the question. But Daniel, come on, your Spurs. We've got all your nonsense wishes are about to come true. So, Dr. John, if you don't mind, we've got some betting in the dark.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
Hello, everyone. Roll up, roll up. It's Cyril and Finger the Duck. They are all here. Throw sack at him. Down to the deadline. What's the deadline, Mr. John?
I was running around all day and I only had about an hour to do all these things. So that's why it was down to the deadline.
That explains that. In all seriousness, thank you for that, John. Let's get on with it. We're going to start. Basically, they're all Sunday games because, of course, they are. Saturday's a poor day for football, unless Leeds win, and then it's the best day for football. We're going with Newcastle to win at Chelsea. Lawrence, we actually spent about 27 minutes of the show discussing West Ham. You missed it, sir. The show starts at midnight. If you turn up at midnight, you get your West Ham bit, but you didn't, so we didn't. Anyway, yeah, I've gone Ishak to score first and Cole Palmer to score consolation because, of course, he will. Other than that, Newcastle are going to win. They're probably not going to win, but Chelsea winning 2-1, Cole Palmer scoring doesn't put food on my table. So, none of this puts food on my table because you've actually got to win them to be able to afford the food to put on your table. But, Gary, what did you spend with the money that you won when Eddie Nketiah scored in
I'm
injury
still betting,
time
dude.
for
I'm
Arsenal
still
against Man
betting.
United?
So it's kept me betting for how long has it been? It's been over like a year plus now. So I've still been betting,
about 18 months,
and I haven't lost it all yet. So I'm going to say it's kept me in the game.
Kept you in the game. Look at Gary. Look at Gary. Like actually on your screen, on your laptop, on your phones, whatever. Stare at Gary, and just look at his face. The face of a winner.
That's a winner.
It's the face of a man that actually picked something I said. and then he kind of jigged it around a bit in a way that helped him make money, and he did. And that's the look of a man. If we do have the image of the time Mark also picked the same bet, you can see what it does to you. It goes to some people's heads, let's just say. But is what it is. There you go. There's Mark Dice Clay there. the actual look of a winner. The look of a £5 heir, some would say. But here we are. Director John, if you don't mind, let's go to the second one, please. Oh, look who it is. We're going for another shock result because I'm not picking Man United, obviously, because fuck them. West Ham are going to win at home to Manchester United. I don't know if they are or not, but obviously the money's there. So obviously, of course, Bruno Fernandes is going to get a penalty because he's Bruno Fernandes. He's going to dispatch it as well because he's Bruno Fernandes. And then if Jared Bowen then scores one of the goals, you know, this could yield coinage for you all. Especially Gary. Look at Gary's face again. Gary, the face of a man that's actually furiously noting it down to make sure he gets it exactly correct.
You know me.
I could actually, you know what? Yeah, I reckon you could get a result like that, 2-1, 3-1.
You know what we need? We need meltdowns, and not in North London, not in Emirates Stadium. Other places, everywhere else, please.
Oh, other places. But I did get a sense from you. You want meltdowns, but I didn't hear the location. So if Director John doesn't mind putting on first,
do I want to see this?
Here we go.
Exactly. I did not want to see this.
And to be
that's
fair,
an excellent bet. That is.
That's a terrible bet. That's a terrible bet.
I mean, for your sake, Gary,
all three are doable.
Arsenal,
to be fair, though,
just do Arsenal to win 3-2.
All three bets, I think, are doable.
I appreciate that, Stan. Thank you. I do attempt to actually try and be somewhat sensible. Some weeks is more sensible than others, but in all seriousness, this time slot yields goals, as we all know, as we discuss every week.
I just don't know that it'd be 3-2. That sounds.
It sounds like a lot of goals to me, and I don't think it's gonna.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as even though our defense is a little leaky, I just think they're gonna play. They're gonna show up at least defensively.
But your the thing is, your club and their club, you're not used to being behind in games. So as soon as one of you does score, it will open the floodgates a bit because then the other team has to come out. That's how you end up with
that's how you. I think that's when you fall for the bait that you have to come out and do exactly what you said. The match isn't over because you're down 1 and say there's 60, 70 minutes left in the match. You know what I mean? It's not over, so there's no reason to stop whatever your game plan was going in. You still have it. You still can maintain. And if you're disciplined enough, you don't need to. So that's a wish of yours.
The attacking riches that both teams have, when they do go for it, they can be successful. It's not like you're going to definitely get picked off because you go forward. Because you might go forward and then score because you went forward. That's what happens when good teams have good forwards. You score sometimes. Other than that, no idea what happens.
But also, both these teams have good defences.
Well, yeah, unless they play Bournemouth.
There's been quite a lot of goals scored. I'm just looking at some of the past fixtures, and I'm surprised that there have been
there's 3-2
goals scored.
Yeah.
2-2s, 3-2s.
Yep.
2-0s, 3-1s.
Because you never not play them on the Sunday afternoon. I mean, generally when you play them, it's Sunday afternoon. Hence goals. Goals. Yeah. But yeah, it is what it is. Director John, if you don't mind, let's go with the magic 3. Just for anyone who's a bit lazy and is like, you know what, I think we can get 3 shocks here. I mean, 32-1. 31-1.
I don't like any. I don't like that last one for sure. Don't like it at all.
You don't need to like the actual subject matter.
What do you mean?
The bottom line is the moolah. Gary.
No, I'm not winning money off of that.
Gary's like,
What
I
about
don't
Benjamin,
like this.
Gary?
It's like Gary
This is-
Gary likes cash.
If you want to give me
What
the
about the
cash
Benjamins, Gary?
first, then maybe. But you're not giving me the cash first. Nah.
I'm trying to win my StreamYard money, man. I'm trying to win the moolah to keep the lights on, keep the electric pulsing.
That
But
is
no,
true.
no, seriously, in all seriousness, if you're doing it for that reason, don't do it. Don't do it. Obviously, that is obviously wrong. When the fun stops, it should be fun. My favourite part of this is basically the times that I actually did win. Anyway, sorry, that's like, of course it's going to be. But it's just the fun of it in the first place. And, they needed time to kill, so we created the segment. But still, otherwise, we'd just be sitting here talking about Arsenal, probably. So, and we know how much Director John loves that.
He loves it. Can't get enough of it.
So, getting
Sorry,
back
what's
to where
the-
we were.
No
Oh,
comment.
here he is.
No comment.
Oh, God.
I thought he was hanging himself or something at the thought of talking more Arsenal. So I've got some questions for the championship.
Yeah, I think it was.
Before we go on, wait.
Oh,
Got a late sponsor. Hold on. You ready, Tom?
Sponsor of the week. Sponsor of the week.
bum, bum, bum.
On the Stoop, mystery sponsor of the week. Hold on, Lolo. It gets weird from here.
Who is it?
Friends,
Winter Blues.
are you ready to get rid of those winter blues? Well, plan that beach trip of a lifetime. But are you wondering what to bring the family to keep the family busy for hours upon hours? The Arsene Wenger Corporation presents to you a Aubameyang boomerang. Toss it once, and it comes back in a different kit. Guaranteed fun for hours. Available during your favourite transfer window. Obviously the summer one, but you'd only get him in January, like you always did.
I was hoping it was going to be one that you throw and it just doesn't come back.
Well, it doesn't come back to your team.
Yeah.
It goes to whatever other forms will take him. Clearly, I like when he did the advert for Chelsea, where he was like, "I've got unfinished business." It's like, mate, you're obviously not going to win this match, so why are you going on TV? Why are you going on TV to talk smack? Obviously, you gentlemen in North America, I don't think you'd have been exposed to that. But in England, they actually filmed an advert where he was basically like playing it the big one. Like, I'm basically going to give Arsenal the thrashing of a lifetime. He never said that, but I paraphrased. He didn't. You won
He went
1-0.
missing.
Remember rightly. Yeah. He collected his money and ran.
Yeah, he did. He got his money. That man got his money. He's got when you got all those Lambos, you need the cash. To
Make
keep
sure
them.
he got his money.
Yeah.
But anyway, for the 56th time of attempting, Stan, do you have a question about the championship?
No. Why?
how did I know
That was the best. I
coming?
love that
How
question.
did I know that was coming?
That was the best question. Like
Like an open book,
How-
Stan, you are.
Can we stop talking about the championship? It was probably the question you wanted to ask, right?
I want to ask a lot.
Yeah,
of
why the
questions.
hell are we
I
talking
probably
about the
shouldn't.
championship? That's my question.
This is a Premier
Because
League station.
Because
isn't
this
it?
is where real football gets played, and there's no VAR, so we don't have to have
fully-
any victimhood syndrome,
sounds
which
nice,
is
though.
prevalent in
That
the
does sound
Arsenal and
nice.
Wolves
It's
supporters.
truly a.
That does sound nice, though.
It's
That
a
does sound
heavenly
a world
football
without VAR. Jeez,
Yeah, it is. It's great.
I remember them days. When a goal went in the back of the net and you celebrated instantly. I remember them days.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You just had a look at the linesman, flag down.
yeah, and
That's
yeah.
it.
Happy days. On we go. Ah.
I hate
So
now
go on
that
then.
people can't celebrate.
Who's kicking it? Is it Sunderland who's at the top of the league? Are they the bosses, or is there someone else?
Sunderland
that's
are
gonna come?
kicking-
In my
Sunderland
opinion,
are
they are
kicking
the
it.
luckiest team. They're very lucky. A lot of things are going for them. A lot of things
Yeah.
going their way.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting the points, obviously. So obviously that
You
can't
have
be
to make your
overlooked.
own luck.
You do. But then they also need to rely on the not rely, but they probably shouldn't have won at Luton on Wednesday. Sorry, should they?
Nah. No, to be honest, Luton totally outplayed them in that first half. I couldn't believe it when Sunderland beat them, but hey ho, they won, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? Burnley. Go on.
Go on. No, I was going to
No,
say,
you
I
go.
personally appreciate that the Watford goalkeeper went out on the Ellen Road pitch just before the game to give the chance that we could then soak him with the sprinkler, which is genuinely what happened. Leeds United soaked the Watford goalkeeper with the sprinklers before the game, and it only took him about 4 minutes to drop the ball into the goal. So obviously it was a successful decision. And the best part was it only took another 3 minutes on for that for him to make his second mistake, pushing the ball out to Brendan Aronson, which to be fair, Aronson needs all the help he can get, clearly. But
you were loving Aronson, weren't you?
That's not true.
You were loving him.
No, that's not
I
true.
like him.
You pulled
I
out
like him.
You pulled out the flag and everything, right, Mr. Tom?
Nah, he's a scumbag. He's a dirty scumbag, and he's got to score. He's got to score another 36 goals to win my affections back.
That's never going to happen, Tom. So you're just a spurned lover. You're like a bitter woman.
Well, we've obviously clearly established that from the start of the show. I am a bitter woman, and so that's going to get.
I think he's doing all right, personally, Gary. I think he's doing all right. He works hard. He's there to break up play and turn over the ball, and that's what happens. And the fact that he got a goal the other night as well, fantastic. The boy's doing the business, you know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, he just needs more opportunities. The more opportunities he is going to get a chance, right?
He needs to finish a bit better. Because he really should have at least 2 or 3 more goals, but they'll come. It'll come.
Brendan Aronson needs to. He runs around. He works hard. He runs around the pitch like headless chicken.
No, he doesn't.
Would have loved him.
He
does
doesn't.
run around.
He doesn't run around like a headless chicken.
He does. He does.
It's structured.
He runs
Tom.
around like a human, behaving like a headless chicken. You want to get technical about it?
But, it's structured, closing down.
Nah. Headless chicken.
See, that's
the method to the madness.
You're just a hater. You're just a hater. Why do you hate the man like that?
I don't believe it.
It's controlled chaos. There's a method to his madness.
Yeah.
Okay, that is about 22-1. But if you have the goal scorers, that's how it increases the odds, and that's how betting works, man. So anyway, but in all seriousness, if Brendan Aronson learned how to pass, shoot, and tackle, he'd be a very good footballer.
You're just mean.
Yeah.
He's just a bitter little wee man.
No, I would say that he did actually 2 passes that completely broke the defensive lines the other night, which we didn't take advantage of. He scored a goal. He should have scored 2 more, it has to be said. He just needs to be better finisher. The rest of his game's not bad at all. And what he doesn't do, which he did before, sorry to cut you off there, Gary. In the Premier, he'd fall to the ground and moan a bit, but now he doesn't. He just gets up and chases back down that opponent who's got the ball.
Yeah, I was just going to say, because as you said, he probably should have had a hat trick. And I feel like I've been saying this for years, but why do footballers not, one, know how to shoot a ball at a big open, not even open net, but towards the net, where the goalkeeper actually has to make an attempt to stop it as opposed to just catch it? Why?
Because in real time, it's not that easy, Gary.
No, but you practice this, right? You practice for those scenarios. Yeah. The ball's going to come at you. It's never going to come perfect. It's going to hit a little bubble and bop up in the air. But you put power behind the thing. It's going to go where you say, right? That's my thing. I always say that it's about their foot placement in sport, like the little things that get you in a situation where you can take that shot immediately with no thought. You just let it go, right? You see this, the best players, that's what they do, right? they're always ready to shoot. Their feet are always placed. See, see. Look at that. Look at that.
Oh.
See, if that man can do it, I think most footballers can do it. You know what I mean?
Do you know it used to drive me
What was
mad,
he doing
right?
there that he could do?
Do you know it used to drive me mad, right? Arsenal used to put out these training videos, and they'd have like the really small, tiny goals, and you'd see like Eddie Nketiah and Aubameyang hitting them into these tiny goals, and then the match would come and they got like the real size goals, and they're putting it
Carrots, John, carrots.
Why no?
This is the championship section of the show.
We've
done the Premier.
To be fair, no. I will defend him on one aspect of this. Eddie Nketiah is clearly going to be in the championship at some point very soon.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah,
a rival imminent.
Not looking great for him, is it? But you know,
it's not.
Without my tutelage, he's obviously gone to pot.
Clearly,
you guys need to just bring him down. You know. Or are you guys on your way up?
Fat Maradona.
I'm
pretty sure really he's just Maradona, isn't he?
Yeah. Anyway, getting on with this. Yeah. Burnley are still hanging in there. What did they do the other week? How did they get on midweek?
Who's their manager now?
They got a late equaliser.
Late equaliser. Okay. Somebody lost. Who was it? Burnley. It's Parker.
Scott Parker. Mr. Cardigan man. Scott Parker used to manage.
Oh, Scott Parker.
Yeah.
Scott Parker.
Where's
he looks like
Cardigan managed Champions League match? Yeah.
I remember him. The guy that was married to Mrs. Simpson. He reminds me of that old king.
Right. Yeah. I know. Yeah, I can see the similarities.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Got a point there. And then we get on to the mighty Leeds, of course, which we've already touched on. Of course, Tom's absolutely thrown Aronson to the wolves there.
I'll do it again.
Sacked him off and everything. Absolutely, James. A gentleman there that I saw only, was it last week? When we beat United? Indeed it was. So I had the pleasure of the company of Mr. Reeves last week and other Leeds supporters in New Orleans. Thanks very much for the entertainment, guys. It was very good. Nice day. 3 points. Excellent. Tomorrow morning, hopefully I'll have a repeat of that, but with the Chicago Whites as I go and there we go. Hopefully I'll be seeing some of these lads tomorrow and nice and early. Not them, they're Southampton supporters. We don't want them anywhere near us, actually. But anyway, I'll be at that pub, hopefully seeing some Whites, and we'll be getting 3 points.
Do you get a lot in Leeds supporters in that gaff? Is that like your local?
In the Chicago one, I don't know because I've not been there, but in the New Orleans, there was about a dozen of us, which you've got to think that was, what time was that of the day? It was a weekday, so working time, but there was a dozen of us. And when I went to San Fran last month, and I took in a game there, it was a 7 o'clock in the morning kickoff, and there was about 35 supporters there. There was a Premier game going on at the same time. The Chelsea supporters came in the same pub, and there was all three of them.
Three of them.
Three of them, yes. Three.
As in more than two, but less than four.
That's the one, yes.
Right,
and they thought that maybe something special was going on. In fact, there we are. There's a little picture of some of us. It was a great morning. They thought, is this something special going on here with your team? And it was like, no, this is just a normal turnout. So the Chelsea three, better known as the Three Musketeers or the Three Amigos, were sent into the back bar to watch their game. Indeed,
Put 'em in the
Nudgy,
snug.
wasn't there?
Make them
Are
watch it in
you
the
ever going
snug.
to actually try to go to one that Will Ferrell's at?
Sorry, say again.
Are you going to try to go to a American Leeds supporters group that is being attended by Will Ferrell?
Why? Which one
Otherwise
does he
known
go
as-
to? Do you
and,
know?
I think he went to one in San Francisco, if I remember rightly.
It'll be the same lot. It'll be the
Is
same
he a
lot.
Leeds supporter then?
He's one of the owners in the consortium that owns Leeds.
Oh, really? Okay.
That partly owns Leeds, sorry.
One of many.
Yeah. Basically, if you can think of an American sports style actor as invested in football, they have probably give Leeds $1 million. To put it mildly. He did attend a game at Ellen Road. Basically, whenever he's seen watching us, we don't do well.
Keep him away. Take the money, but keep him away.
Yeah, it's like, can you...
I think I remember
basically.
seeing a
Brothers
video of him
with
being at a football match. That must have been what it was then.
He did go to
He went to
was it
Wrexham. games.
Wrexham, didn't he? He was
Yeah.
invited along there and everything.
I might have been that.
He got
Okay.
he got the bug for it from his mate Ryan Reynolds, obviously, and then he was like, "Oh, how do I get into football?" And then Leeds United were like, "Come on in, my American friend."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I saw him at a Villa game a few years ago as well. He's a football fan. Basically, he likes the sport, but
Well, because he did a movie about it, about little girls playing football, if I remember rightly.
Arsenal have had a few celebrity fans. The most notorious one, though,
sorry,
was Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Yeah,
One of our biggest fans, apparently. It was like, oh
Yeah.
no.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I wonder who
who-
Saddam Hussein supported.
Sorry, say again.
I wonder who Saddam Hussein supported. I wonder if
Why-
he watched any.
why
I wonder if
do
he
we
watched any of
know?
the games. From
There
the
we
whole...
go. Look at that. Perfect. Look at that. Yeah.
Come on, that's not very nice.
What is
Not very
going
nice.
on there?
Well, it's a very fair question. Who do you think Saddam Hussein would support if he was
Let's
in
not.
football?
No, let's move on. Let's not even start that. No.
Wimbledon.
Stop. Mr. Tom, move on. Move on.
He's no longer
All right.
anyway, so it's irrelevant. I feel.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've got Okay.
Sheffield United obviously lost the other night. Yeah.
They did. They lost to Sunderland. Not Sunderland, Middlesbrough. Sorry. Luke Ayling made a clearance off the line.
Is the will? So that's 2 losses on the bounce. Then.
Yeah.
Is the will coming off the truck?
They were doing the whole like putting out tweets saying who is the only undefeated team. Sorry, here's a list of undefeated teams in the EFL, and then it was Sheffield United. End of list. It was like, oh, that's really clever that. But then it was more clever when we actually beat them, and then we put out the same list and had no answer on it because they lost. Fuck them. Anyway,
Another one of many.
Yeah.
There
Hands
you
up
go.
if you lost twice in a row. Keep round up, Sheffield.
But yeah.
Can you
Anyway,
say-
so
Sheffield Wednesday scored a lovely goal tonight. To be fair,
yeah. How
Yeah.
did they get on?
they won 2-1 against Portsmouth. Yeah, but their
Oh,
second goal,
That's a good win.
delicious. It was lovely.
Portsmouth are in the shit.
Yeah.
They're on their way back down.
Funny
They
how
had
they
that
turned up at Ellen
fantastic
Road and
game.
weren't
Yeah,
really
yeah.
after.
The first game of the season, they played like it was their cup final, which it was.
And they've been shit ever since.
Ever since, yeah. But hey ho, we'll
They
forgive
won.
them.
Their 3-3 draw at Ellen Road won them
Yeah,
the
what's
title.
happened?
Clearly,
What's happened?
What's happening to
Portsmouth?
Coventry?
They used to be quite up there at one point. I remember, years ago. They had when
Yeah,
Harry
when
Redknapp
Harry-
was the manager. They had a lot
Yep.
of good players at that time. Went through that club, didn't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
they've got
That
great
you wouldn't have
support,
thought.
to be fair to them.
He was spending
remember
money that they didn't have. That was the
Yeah.
thing, though. He
Yeah.
did a
My
Harry.
favourite- My favourite question to ask them is: you bought Sully Montari for 2 million and sold him for 12 in the mid 2000s. So obviously 10 million profit on a player is a big deal. What did you spend it on? Where did it go? Because you certainly didn't buy a player for 8 million or whatever, but
it just goes on the run of the club, I suppose.
I mean, they're not, Rosie. I mean, that's just patently not true. Hardy Wright played at Enham Road, and he played like he wasn't even there. So, because I know BX loves Hardy Wright, or is it Hadley?
QPR as well.
Yeah.
If you've seen QPR's performance when they beat us 4-0 at the end of last season, that they've spent all summer giving it all the. They deserve to win. Like, no excuses. They deserve to beat us 4-0.
Played us off the park.
They did. They spent all summer going, oh, we could really make a promotion push. I'll give you promotion push.
Yeah,
promotion from League One push. Sorry, what?
My great-grandfather managed Queen Park Rangers years and years and years ago.
Really?
Fun fact.
I could probably do with him now then, by the sounds of it.
Yeah. I don't know how he done. I don't know about results and that, but he did manage him after his playing career. And then he quit that to open a tobacconist shop. Apparently,
probably more money in it. Probably more money in it in those days, you know. But yeah, well, that's pretty much the Championship anyway. We're what?
Apparently, Leeds can buy a league position.
Yeah. Oh, and Leeds have brought in an agent, didn't they? Free agent. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name.
It's a great name. It's Joshua. It's not Joshua because there's no H in it, but it's Joshua without the H. So his name's actually Joshua.
Okay,
Great
and what's
name.
the surname?
I'll go have to defer.
You're going to pass on that one as well.
Giavogi or something like that. Basically, he's played for France, played in the Champions League or probably whatever. Basically, it's a great free agent signing.
He's there to bolster the numbers, isn't he? Basically, provide a bit of cover because, of course, at the moment, Leeds, the mighty Leeds, aren't quite so mighty because we've got more in the physio's room than we have in the changing rooms.
Yeah.
But there you go.
You guys want to talk about the upcoming Premier League schedule for tomorrow and Sunday?
Yeah.
I
think we can go back to the Premier, can't we? Go on, Tom. Kick it off, son.
Yeah, Finger the Duck's happy to do so. He wants to know specifically what Stan thinks about... What's that? Huh? He wants to know what Stan thinks about Manchester City versus Southampton and what are Southampton's chances of winning.
Who wants to know that?
Finger the Duck wants to know that.
Duck?
He's staring you down. Staring you down, mate.
Manchester United against Southampton, you say?
Manchester City versus Southampton.
Oh,
get it right.
Hiding, isn't it?
Do you think it'll be Premier League record hiding?
I mean, Southampton have had a really poor start. I mean, it's probably the last fixture that they wanted coming up. You know, I mean, I don't see anything than a whooping. To be fair, I mean, you just can't really give Southampton a chance. I mean, it's football and anything can happen, but I mean, you know, you're putting your money down on it. It's just not going to happen for them, is it? Unfortunately, for that fixture. How many goals? Haaland probably get 6 goals or something like that. You know what I mean?
Finger the Duck's got a question for you, Gary. Who's going to win out of Brentford and Ipswich?
Nobody cares.
Staring you out, Gary.
Actually, really
staring you out. He wants to know.
That's a very good point.
I don't think anybody cares. I mean, it looked like Brentford was going to have some consistency in their game, but they're like they came back to earth a little bit. So it should be Brentford, but you know, I don't know which Brentford get.
Brentford are doing that thing. They score early a lot, don't they? They score very early, very quickly.
Bearing in mind the league positions, Gary, in that case, what about one that has more bearing on your team, and that's the Villa against Bournemouth? Bearing in mind, Bournemouth turned you lot over last week.
So if they can turn us over, right? Then what are they going to do to Aston Villa, who's supposedly worse than us?
Oh, they'll win 8-0 against Aston Villa.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, we're gonna go by those, what they did last week. I mean,
Can you give us a score on that, Gary?
on this way, you know what? Because I don't want Aston Villa. I can't cheer for Aston Villa. Bournemouth's gonna win 2-1. It's gonna be they're gonna rob them at the end of the show, basically.
Okay.
That's how I think it's gonna go. That's how I want it to go.
I thought you'd give me something a bit more juicy so we could clip that up and throw it back at you next week.
Gary, can you answer this question?
But that was like a really sensible sort of answer, and I wasn't expecting that.
No, I mean I would love a 3-0 win for Bournemouth, but I don't see that happening. So they're gonna have to. It's gonna have to be you hit the break glass, break the glass at the. When nobody's looking, steal whatever you can and get out. So that's how that's going to have to go.
I've got the onset. I've been known to forget some things, but we did get a question from loyal viewer Rosie, who she wants to know what was the Bournemouth versus Arsenal score.
You know what, Rosie? Nobody cares. This is what I told you about Brentford and Ipswich. Nobody cares anymore, right, Stan? Nobody cares about what happened last week. No, nobody remembers. You know what happened like way long time ago. Nobody knows. Nobody.
That's fair. Right. So basically, let's go down to the London Stadium. Stan, what are West Ham's chances of beating Manchester United on Sunday?
Very high. Well, I mean, I was listening to something on the radio on the way home. Manchester United played a game today, did they, or yesterday or something? And
yeah, 1-1.
I was listening to like the lineup that they were talking about the lineup and that, and he had like Nazari playing as a 10 and a left back on the bench with no left back on the. It was like I was like,
strange.
Wow, yeah. I mean, it looks like that Xerxes doesn't seem to be settling. There's already talk about that he's going to be on his way out. I'm like, how can he be on his way out? He's only just literally unpacked his suitcase when he arrived. So I don't know what's going on there.
If it wasn't for their keeper, they would have lost that game.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
they would have conceded at a very vital time.
But I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying their capitulation. I'm loving it. I relish it. I listen out for Ten Hag post-match interviews because they're great.
We're all behind Ten Hag.
Ten Hag in.
So we are the Ten Hag in.
Oh, Gary, Director John may have reminded you of what happened in last week's football.
Nope, I don't even know what that is. I can't see anything. My screen just went blank. Sorry.
My screen's blank as well. What's going on?
I know. I don't know why it just happened. It's gone blank again. I don't understand. It's like I went blind or something like that. I keep going blind every other second. It seems every second. There's something wrong with my machine.
Can we do
it? My screen's come back.
Can we do it where you go mute?
I don't know what you're talking about. I can't hear you. You went mute on my side over here. Did you say something, John?
Yeah.
No, didn't hear it. And now the screen's gone blank. Nothing's working today.
John, the Utes today, eh? The Utes today.
Tom, I've got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Palace against Spurs.
Ooh.
I've got a feeling this is going to be quite a difficult afternoon for Palace.
Yeah, Palace. What's happening to them, man?
Although they're Spursy as fuck because they're Spurs. This does say. Usually Spurs would lose this to Palace, but Palace are very much on the ropes, and I don't think they're really in a position to put Spurs down. So, if Spurs could comfortably win this, about 2-0.
I'm not going to ask Gary or Stan for obvious bias.
Yeah, I think Crystal Palace will run away with it. That's what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, so we're talking nonsense there. So let's move on to another game.
Hey, I got a question. I got a question. The big game of the weekend. Everton.
I'll be honest with you,
Fulham. Come on, people.
I hate
Everton.
I don't think Palace have a hope there. Palace have just been every week. I keep thinking this is the week that Palace are going to get some points, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah, you know why? Because Roy isn't managing them anymore. Everybody took the piss out of Roy, but Roy did the job there.
there's only so many times you can like exhume Roy out of the coffin before it stops taking effect, right? Because eventually they're
The
going to leave him
sarcophagus.
too big a job.
There's only so often you
Yeah.
can get Roy out of his sarcophagus.
Exactly.
I tell you what, Rosie's not giving up, is she? She's like a Jack Russell with
I don't
this
even know what you know.
result last week.
All of her messages are
I
coming
haven't got
in
my reading
blank
glasses
now. I
on,
don't even
so-
know. Can you guys? I can't read whatever she said, and that seems to happen a lot.
Out of interest, who do
I don't
Celtic
have my
have
reading
in
glasses on, so
the Methadone Scottish League? Out of
Yeah.
interest,
Yeah.
who have Celtic got
Methadone.
tomorrow?
No, don't know. Not interested.
All right. Here's one because I know
Go on.
you guys. John, David. Since you have the yellow top on,
Mhm.
versus Wolves. Oof, what you thinking? That's all it is. You got the yellow top on. That's it. That's the only reason why I'm asking.
That's the best /
what's that got to
tenuous
do
connection
with-
ever.
Yeah, because
You
Wolves
should have
don't.
gone because you
wear
lived near
yellow.
Brighton. You used to live in Brighton,
Wolves,
didn't you?
Wolves wear gold.
Oh, sorry. Do I have it wrong?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Never mind.
Damn it. It's hard to tell.
Hey ho.
isn't it?
Our shirt is more
I tell you
gold
what, I
than-
can
than
predict.
Wolves' shirt.
I can predict that Wolves will go home with no points,
Oh boy.
and if they're really lucky, they might go home with half.
She's fine, thanks, John.
Yeah. Now I just Wolves. Of course, Brighton have got the wonderful Jorginho Rutter. Let's go playing for them, who is actually doing very well there, scoring goals and providing assists aplenty. So I think Brighton are going to win that one. You've got Villa, Forest, and Brighton all making a charge on the top four. Well, on the top three, should I say, or should I say the third place team, which is. It's gone very quiet again.
It's that
No,
team that
You know what?
lost
It just
the
keeps.
ball,
I
doesn't
just
it?
keep. I start getting this like buzzing sound. The screen goes blank, and then I can't see a damn thing.
That's okay.
There's something wrong with the technology over here on the stoop. Bring back Lolo. I think it works better when Lolo's here.
I'm
Mm,
not so sure it does, but there you go. No, it does. It does. So, guys, very quickly, Arsenal, Liverpool score.
Hello, Tony. How you doing?
You know, it's 2-1 Arsenal. Yeah.
Okay,
They
Stan?
need to still.
No. I just asked you the score line.
No. You get everything.
asked-
You know what?
it's just
You
the
open the
scoreline.
door. You let
No, I
me in.
just wanted
You
the
can't get
scoreline.
me. You can't kick
The
me out.
scoreline,
You're chasing
Gary.
me around the house.
Carrot,
I'm not
carrot,
leaving.
man.
You try to
Carrot,
come get me.
immediately,
I lock
please.
myself in your bathroom.
Dan,
I'm not leaving. I'm
Dan,
here for
I don't
good.
care. Well, John will just shut you down. We don't care. Because
Carrot him, please.
John can be like that, as we all know. Stan, what do you reckon? Scoreline.
I don't like to say a score that's in Liverpool's favour because I'm not very confident.
Right,
Okay,
what
so
I
you're
mean?
putting it in Liverpool's favour then.
You can't
Yeah.
even say that out loud. You can't even think that, Stan. Stop.
I am.
with
I have to be
those.
honest. It's the way I mean. In my heart and my head, right? You know, I was going to lie and
Your
say
heart,
1-1.
obviously, your heart, Arsenal are going to win.
I just feel that Liverpool are going to. I just feel that we're going to come unstuck. Obviously, I hope not, but I just think so.
What do you think the reaction will be if it's a draw? As in, like, say for argument's sake, finish 2-2. I know the context of the game makes things different, but off the top of your head, if you both take a point, is there meltdowns, for example, or
Mate, if it finishes at Desmond, I'd be well happy with that. Thank you very much. I'll take it. Thank you.
The haters will say another draw. Why didn't they go out there and try and get the win? That's what's going to happen, right?
I don't care what the haters say. What do you say, Gary?
If we draw, I'm taking a point. I'm taking points, no matter how they come. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like I mean, it isn't as if was playing with a full deck, right? You know,
Can I chime in a second?
We're a little short.
Even Tony, with his, what did he say, a rough voice, is just 100 times better than listen to Arsenal talk.
You know what, John? That's just mean. that's just mean. That's just like, wow.
Not inaccurate. It's not the most inaccurate thing, Gary.
It's mean. It's unappreciative, but it's not inaccurate.
No, it's definitely inaccurate. You guys need to check your rulers. Check your rulers. There's something wrong with it. I think it's off by a couple of inches. So you need to check something's wrong. These things don't measure up. Whatever you just said, nah.
Oh, dear.
What's that finger?
Yeah.
What do you mean you want the phone number for the Brendan Aronson Appreciation Society? What are you talking about, Finger the Duck? He's a fucker, that boy. Anyway, is Gary admitting to not having a full deck in the midst of his Gooner ramblings? When Gary rambles about Arsenal, I can tell you from my ears, it basically says carrot, 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 carrot. Bring on the carrot, 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 carrot.
Yeah, you are not of sound mind. Everybody knows this, so that's why you're.
I mean, that's true. Legally, I'm just enough of sound mind, but just. I'm allowed to maintain employment. I'll say that.
There you go.
There was a time that wasn't the case, but anyway. What? Sorry, that was a bit too much.
Well, I think we've pretty much covered everything there, have we? All the games.
Yep. Nottingham Forest gets a win. They're sitting in the top of the top.
Forest are pushing.
Yeah,
Forest are pushing.
Sitting top 5.
It's funny how people, when they leave Wolves, actually do better.
Well, think about it. People who've left Manchester United go to Nottingham Forest, and all of a sudden, they look like they can play some football. All of a sudden, right? At least 2 players have gone there, right? Isn't it 2 players have done it?
Ex-Wolves manager.
Cheating prospers, basically.
Ex-Wolves manager, and then in Fulham, we were talking about Fulham and the Everton game. Is it Fulham-Everton?
Yeah.
Being like a ball game. But, Fulham have actually started playing some better football now, and they've got Jimenez, who looks like the old Jimenez again. So they're having a good season. Finish up mid-table obscurity, no doubt, but no, Forest are doing really well, as are Villa. Good luck to them. May they upset the top 6.
Villa's sitting top of the table in the Champions League, right? I mean, that's nobody expected that. You got Liverpool and City looking up to them. They've
bought very wisely, and they've got a very good manager.
Yeah.
Who's likely to win first out of the 4 teams that have currently not won? So, John, if you don't mind putting up the bottom of the Premier League.
Oof. Oh, boy.
Who's likely to win first out of these 4? The 4 losers, I affectionately call them.
That is so hard, isn't it? What hard.
Wow.
When do they play each other?
You assume not this week, then.
you feel like it's going to be when they play each other, don't you? Because they just can't. I mean, it's
right.
You guys don't know what it's like, but when you come up from the Championship, and you're this is fantastic, we're great, and then you suddenly go in and you're looking at games and you think, oh no, we've got Bournemouth, oh no, we've got Palace, and how shit is that when you've got that low that those games fill you with dread. But that's what it's like when you come up from the Championship and suddenly you're in with the big boys.
Well, yeah, because you're in.
I mean, 3 of them play on the road. Only 1 plays at home, so I don't. That doesn't bode well, right? Only team that's playing at home is I think it's Crystal Palace, right? And they're playing against.
Do you think there's going to be a case where 2 of those 4 teams survive?
I think Ipswich has had some almost moments, though, haven't they? Where they've almost got something and then they got pipped at the last minute.
But that's the difference, Stan, isn't it? That's the difference in Championship and Premier. Last year, they were winning games. like that. But now they're not.
Yep.
And if they're lucky, they get a point now.
They'd get a last minute penalty, or like their goalkeeper would like turn into like prime prime Pat Rossi.
I mean, Morsey did get a goal like that at the beginning of the season, didn't he? In like the 96th minute or something like that. He hit a shot and it deflected and it went in. I think they got a point.
I'm very happy with Calvin. I think Agent Calvin's doing well.
He's on his way out, isn't he? By the sounds of it.
You think Eze will be wearing the same shirt come January, or will Crystal Palace like figure, you know what, it's no time like the present to sell him? They already sold everybody else. I mean,
well, they haven't. They dug their heels in over Gahey, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they just sold Elise.
Is that it? So Anderson is still there?
They sold him to.
Didn't Anderson? They sold Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they sold Anderson to Fulham, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
And they sold Elise to Bayern. But I still think Gay's practically gone because he's playing like, I mean, we were saying this earlier. But he obviously doesn't want to be there.
No.
He's only there because they couldn't replace him quickly enough on deadline day.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing like he knows he isn't going to be there. He will be playing Premier League football next year, regardless of whether it's with them or it won't be with them. But you know what I mean. He knows he will be, and that's a dangerous situation to be in when you've got the player, but you know he's going to be there next year, whether it's with you or not.
It's a tough situation because it's like, do you sell him when you should have sold him, and at least you can start over, as opposed to dragging this thing out, and then you're gonna have disgruntled players on your team who aren't going to help you anyways. You know, you want somebody who wants to be there. You know, when you start with these players that they've done, I think that you just kind of like sour the whole situation.
Yeah.
He's a very, very good player, but he's not that good a player to stop them from losing games because he's only one of 4. You know what I mean? He's not of that stature yet.
Mm-hmm. Do you not want to hold on to someone like him, though, to try and fight the relegation and then sell him? I mean, I know he's not playing good at the moment, but you know, he's one of their best players in the defense. I mean, what do you do?
I'll
sell
get
him
why they're keeping him.
But if his head is turned, right? If his head is gone, well, you're not going to get what you want out of him anyways, right? And you're going to be selling him for probably less than you expect because he's going to be like, no, I'm leaving. You just, you know, and you're not going to get, you know, he might. Right now, I think there are teams that are going to want to probably pay for him come January. I believe, you know, more than after they get relegated when they like.
Agree more.
You know,
if you're the club owner as well, though, if you're in that situation and you make that decision, you are then literally calling for your head, the supporters to be calling for your head. You know what I mean? So it's a balancing act, isn't it?
I was surprised when they let Anderson go because I was like, you know, if you're gonna keep this together, at least keep Anderson and Gahey together. You know what I mean? Like at least like you let Eze go, let Eze almost was gonna be gone, but then Elise go in, basically you're killing your attack, right? So defensively, if you at least keep those two around, even if you sold both of them at the end of the season because things didn't work out, but you know you need some stability somewhere, and those two together, I think, would have worked.
Isn't the lad Wharton there as well?
Is he doing all right?
He's injured.
Oh, he's injured now. So
yeah, he's injured. So they're missing quite a few players. So maybe when those players come back, maybe they will click. But they need to.
They should have took the 18 million that they were offered by Bayern, because then they could have done something with it. Because what they're actually going to end up doing is basically paying him to fuck off, which is obviously arguably a lot worse than basically not taking 18 million to not have him
80,
anyway.
80 for who?
18. 1-8.
Bayern Munich in the summer. Keep in mind, Gary, he had been their manager for about 3 months at this point. Bayern Munich offered them 18 million as a compensation package to purchase the manager, essentially. And Palace said no. And then Palace then proceeded to sell their best players. and try to sell their best players.
So you I mean, I mean, like
You might as well
you,
just take money.
I mean, you're saying that he might get it if he sells, if he sells Gahey or Eze in January. He already started that ball rolling already. That ball's already
Yeah,
started rolling based on.
exactly. I'm just saying it's a very poor decision. And when I saw it at the time, I've said it to a lot of people since. I was like, I bet in November they'll pay him to leave, and they'll wish that they took the money they were initially offered. Because he looks like he was doing really well with a team you could build on instead of sell off, and they chose to not build on it.
Yeah.
But still,
They kind of got, everybody knew they had a good core of players with those 4 players that they had. And it was just a matter of, can you add more to this before you have to start selling them? And they saw,
never really build on a team like that.
No, but well, then you sell them early so that you can figure out how to build, no dragging this thing out. Just sell the players early in the window so you can
agree.
fill some holes.
You said, Gary, I do agree that Leeds United have a good chance against Bristol City tomorrow. So thank you for that.
No, who said that? But who are Leeds again?
That's what I heard, though.
I've heard of Bristol City, but Leeds, what? Where's your top come from, David? I didn't see that earlier. You got like 2 bulls in front. Oh, wait. Why did the screen go blank again? This is...
Oh, just as you were admiring my shirt. Can you believe
thing
that?
about the screen going blank is that it always seems to coincide with other things up on the screen.
I don't script this thing. I just go, I'm just telling you what I'm seeing.
But yeah, anyway, right. So I don't know
will Roy be able to save them if
no, Roy's too
well,
old.
eventually, his powers will diminish. Don't get me wrong, not saying anything against him, but they got into a bit of trouble before. They called on Roy, and he fixed it for them. But eventually, it's going to get to a point where you're asking him to fight a fire that's got too big.
But he won't come back now. He's too old. He's got health problems, so he's not coming back.
I mean, my favourite thing of his is obviously when they interviewed him on BBC, if I remember rightly, and he's like, "You taking the piss?" And they were like, "No, Roy, no." It's like, "No, it sounds like you're taking the piss." And it was like,
yeah, that was before he became a grouchy old man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was still relatively young by his age.
But obviously, I'm getting. There may be signs that Director John's wanting a.
I think it's about that time, guys. I think
the lights started to
we've
flicker,
absolutely. Right? I think the lights are going to go out here in Chicago as well. So, I've just got it in my ear.
That being said, I just want to say, Stan, have you got anything you want to say to your fans?
I can't see you, Stan. Can somebody turn the lights on, please? Oh, there they go.
Yeah, if you're watching, Mum, Thursday, Sundays on the Arsenal fan circle with Gary, Ray, Tony, Alonso, and the rest of them. Other than that, thanks for having me on. Good to chat to you guys on the Friday evening. And I hope everybody has a great weekend.
Yes, thank you for turning up for this. Appreciate your time. Gary, someone else's time. I do appreciate as well, occasionally. Gary, have you got anything to say to your fans?
Come check out the channel. Road trip tomorrow morning. What is that? 3 p.m. You guys across the pond. Check us out. Why did it go blank again? Put that light. Okay, there you go. Good. Check us out. It'll be Mr. Tom and then Sam and guests. I probably will not be there. I got some stuff to do. But Monday we'll be back on the trip. We'll be talking hopefully about an Arsenal win. I'll take a draw, but a win would be nice. But otherwise we'll be talking about Arsenal.
You guys have the shows, but you're never on them. I don't get it. On the Stoop with Lolo, but it's never with Lolo.
You know what you build. Sometimes you build something, and then it's all right to let other people enjoy the fruits of your labor, right, John?
And it winds up being better.
Oh, that is just once again rude, mean, and not necessary, and it's not accurate.
I'm doing amazingly out of this, by the way.
Mr. Thomas is like rolling in. He's like the hosting gigs all over the land.
I can't help it that you all trust me to take care of your babies. Metaphorical, of course. Metaphorical. You should never let me actually.
I want to say
chop
before we
off
go, thank you
paper.
for everybody who joins. Everybody who joined from the channel when I started it up. Thanks for joining. We'll do this again every Friday. So I enjoy chatting on the happy hour is a fun time, and I hope everybody enjoyed it.
David, have you got anything you want to say to your fans? All three of them, the Chelsea ones, clearly.
I've got nothing to say to anybody. Just Leeds. That's it.
All right. With that being said, I know Director John has this belief that I can't end shows without rambling incoherently. So I'm just going to say this. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Good luck to all your teams tomorrow, except for Spurs and Manchester United. And that's it. John, roll it, please.